Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting as we're here at the Pocono Raceway for the SNC Transport Pocono 85 for race number 2 of the round of 8 here for the RSR Cup Series at the Evolution Racing Leagues. Thank you everybody for tuning in here tonight as the action is always spicy here on the Tuesday night's broadcast. Do not forget that. But let's first give a shout out to all the sponsors who help make it happen here at the Evolution Race League and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And first, we want to give a shout out to Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check them out at ornissancentral.com. Next, we want to give a shout out to Sheffield Graphics, the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. Next, we'll give a shout out to ButtKicker, because every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to ButtKicker.com and you can check out yourself a ButtKicker Gamer 2 or many of their other products there at their website, where you can use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at ButtKicker.com, where you can feel what you've been missing. Now let's also give a shout out to the Pocono Setup Shop. The Pocono Setup Shop is your home for iRacing setups and the official setup shop of the Richmond Raceway Esports team, fielding the number 46 and 90 in the Coca-Cola iRacing series of Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak. With everything from legends to cup cars, we've got you covered. Dirt setups for late models, modifieds, and wing sprints are available as well. Coaching with professional drivers such as NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion Zach Novak, his teammate Jimmy Mullis, River Hayes, and many more also available. And remember, at the Pocono Setup Shop, there are setups, but they're your victories. You can head on over to www.poconosetupshop.com today, where you can use promo code FFB10 to get 10% off of any setup purchase there at the Pocono Setup Shop. And also, you can enter a giveaway, where we'll be talking about that later, where you can get a free session of coaching provided by Freaky Fast Broadcasting at the Pocono Setup Shop. So make sure to check that out later in the broadcast. We'll get that all posted out in the chat. But again, thank you to the Pocono Setup Shop and all the other sponsors who helped bring this action here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. I am Zach Hall, and joined alongside me will be Brandon Caladonna, as Robert Moyer Jr. will be running our cameras from the production box. Brandon, more action again here tonight with the RSR Cup Series back at the Pocono Raceway, second time this season. What kind of action do we expect? And a big race on the line, with it being the middle race in this round of 8.
Well, I'm expecting drafting one to be absolutely crucial here. I mean, you're going to see guys just single filed out, really trying to find a good run to make a pass, because once you pull out of that draft, you just lose all your momentum. Side drafting going to be crucial as well, but I think the most important thing that everybody needs to keep in mind here at Pocono tonight: car damage. Do not get any damage. These cars are so aero dependent, and these straightaways are so long. You rely on your speed more than anything here. Straight line speed being hampered is going to cost you any chance you had at winning this race. Got to keep it off the walls, keep it off of any other car. They've got 3 sets of tires, and with the 65% fuel load, each stage 1 and stage 2, is going to be 20 laps apiece. So stage 1 ends at lap 20, stage 2 ends at lap 40. They should be able to make it to the end of the stage. Definitely stage 2. Stage 1 might be questionable, but for that final portion of the race, 45 laps, we're going to see some fuel strategy playing out there, and maybe some tire strategy. We know that's always a factor here at the RSR Cup Series, especially with these stages. We're going to be keeping an eye on that to see who may have saved a set for the end of this race.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key. What type of strategy do we see? But also, I think you brought one of the biggest keys is keeping the side of your car clean. Like you said, no damage here. This track is so important about aerodynamic drag and efficiency. It's just a big track about having that car completely efficient around this place. And if we see anybody getting into that wall, they're going to definitely be wanting to get that fixed while they're on pit road. No fast repairs, though. So if you get major damage, it's never going to be that good of a night for you here at Pocono. And a very important night as it's the middle race in the round of 8 for a lot of guys here. Remember last week, only guy who feels safe at the moment, it's got to be Curtis Preston. Right now, airing tonight, locked in after winning Atlanta. But from there, it can get kind of mixy with these next 2 races if you have a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, Curtis Preston looking to play spoiler here, make sure nobody else really gets locked in as he's sitting up on top of the board at practice. I believe the only driver ahead of him is his teammate Travis Everett, but it's not by much. Slide Job Racing coming out of here with a lot of speed here at Pocono, but everybody else in the field, I mean, you're looking at from 2nd to 8th place in points right now, only back by about 20 some odd points. 32 points, it says get James Catrone in 8th, back 32 points. GT back 8 from Curtis, but right at the cutoff, you got Ryan Bean, last driver inside the top 4, 15 back, just behind him. Cabin Ruff, only 8 points back, 10 points separating Nathan Campbell from Ryan Bean, and then another 17 back to Travis Everett in 7th. Travis Everett really looking to have a great race here, showing a lot of speed, trying to see if that translates in qualifying and get a good starting position. And looking at it right now, trying to find Travis Everett on the board, getting ready to turn his first laps. Now time's coming across. Hunter Hayward in 2nd. Currently Andrew Little with a really great time putting himself top of the board. Curtis Preston coming across now for 3rd place. James Catrone all the times rolling in up to 4th, moving Zach Schrittenthal back down to the 5th position.
Yeah, great times coming in. And you pointed out about Travis Everett needing a good run. He finished 3rd here earlier this season, led about 3 laps, and actually started from pole. So we'll see if he can put another great lap here as he comes around this time. That's going to put him, I believe, looks like 8th on the board. So not the greatest lap from Everett. Maybe the 2nd lap will be the quicker one. We'll have to see as he starts that 2nd lap. But GT Irizarry was our race winner from this Pocono race, but the leader of the most laps was Hunter Hayward as he plays spoiler and running good again, qualifying well in that 48 machine right there. GT, our past winner, though, slotting in the 3rd. A lot of possibilities here tonight, man. This should be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Hunter Hayward that was really dominating the race the last time they were here, but unfortunately found himself in trouble. Really opened the door for a lot of other guys. Hunter Hayward sitting 2nd on the board right now with a decent time. Not quite good enough to really even come close to what Andrew Little had put down. Andrew Little still sitting on top of the board. GT, last winner here at Pocono. In 4th position, Curtis Preston, last week's winner in 3rd. Having really good pace here in qualifying. Qualifying at Pocono, we talked about how hard it is to pass here. The draft being so crucial. Track position, absolutely everything here. You need to qualify up at the front to have a chance of getting to the lead. Travis Everett improving on his time now to move himself up inside the top 10, just outside of the top 5.
That is a good job by him to pick that up because that was crucial. Looking at the points like you brought up there, Brandon, earlier, I don't think nobody's in a must-win position. That's a little different than our ARCA series where we already had a driver probably in a must-win position. Here in the Cup Series, the 2 stages here at lap 20 and 40 tonight, you have the possibility to make up 20 points over your competition if you can go out there and win both stages and get those 20 bonus points. And then depends what they do, but there is possibilities to make up great balance of points. So I don't think nobody's out of this by any means with James Catrone all the way 32 points back in 8th from GT.
I don't think so either. I mean, like you said, that's 20 extra points that you get potentially per race, not including your finishing position. But it just kind of means that you've got to be consistent throughout the entire race. You really have to be good throughout the whole race and finish races well, because you can get stage points, and that's great. But if something happens to you and you finish at the back, it's a little bit of a cushion, but you're giving up so many points. And then if you have something like what happened with Travis Everett last week, missed out on all the stage points and then had a poor finish as well due to an incident during that first stage. So you can gain a lot of points, and there's a lot up for grabs, but you can stand to lose a whole lot as well.
Lots to lose, lots to gain. Many storylines here at the Pocono Raceway. But here is your starting grid tonight. As Andrew Little, what a lap from him to bring home the pole here. Brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. Second is going to go to the 48 Hunter Hayward. Third is going to be Curtis Preston. Fourth going to be GT Irizarry. Fifth place, they're going to be Chad Beesinger. Sixth, Travis Everett. Seventh going to be Ryan Bean. Eighth going to go to Trevor Massetti as a return tonight. Ninth's going to be Kevin Ruff. And rounding out your top 10 will be Craig A. Burns.
Casey Coons in the 31 and the 11th. Nathan Campbell in 12th. Brock Potter 13th. James Catrone 14th position. Zach Schrittenbrawl 15th. Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. 16th position. Rusty Modesty 17th. Harold Watkins 18th. Kevin Sabilla at 19th. And Ryan Azell in the 5, rounding out your top 20.
21st going to be Mark Hans Ray Thibodeau. 22nd is going to be Anthony Yunez. 23rd, Kevin Dow. 24th, Jerry Culliver. 25th is going to be Tony Ludy. And around out your field in the 26th position is Nolan Potter, as that's your starting grid here tonight for the RSR Cup Series, brought to you by SNC Transports LLC. As we get ready to bring this action to a beginning, let's go ahead and bring Andrew Little down and hear what his thoughts are about getting this pole from Jetsman's Racing as we bring him on down here.
Hey Andrew, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going there, stranger?
Oh man, it's going pretty good, but looks like it's going pretty well for yourself as well. Congratulations on getting the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here at Pocono. Coming into tonight, third in points, looking to have a really good points night, starting off that way anyway. And we talked about how important track position was going to be, qualifying especially, drafting here, big deal. Hard to make passes, man. How are you feeling about the race from where you're starting?
It's kind of an unfamiliar position for me, but I'll certainly take it. Just to hopefully, we've really been getting on a roll here late in the season with some really good finishes and some rather close calls in the playoffs here. So hopefully we'll, transition this into either another top 5 run tonight or finally get that W I've been looking for all season, bud.
Well, that's got to be my next question, man. What's your strategy going to be like? Are you going to try to go for the win here, or are you just going to play it safe, try to get some good points, or is that up in the air until maybe the final 45 laps of this thing?
I'm going to try to hold this position the best I can. Taking the air away from the guy behind you certainly, is able to kind of hold him back. And so I'm kind of hoping to hold the position, but we're just going to see how it plays out. And I've got a couple of pretty good crew guys kind of in my ear to, help me through whatever situation we get in. So hopefully we'll be talking to you guys at least one more time tonight, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, man, we'll be looking to see if you pop up in the booth here again with us throughout this race, but let you get ready to start this thing and wish you the best of luck, man. Try to keep that car clean, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end of it.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Let's see if my slow reaction time has Hunter and Preston, these guys jumping me, but I'll do what I can here at the start.
All right, that was Andrew Little, your Sheffield Graphics pole setter. You can hear the excitement in that guy's voice as he's starting out front here tonight. Big race for him, second in that points of drivers not locked in. He could be one in the final 4, no doubt, if he can perform like he's doing right here. Pace car is in. Green flag is out. Great start, dead even. I would say even Hunter Hayward maybe a nose ahead of the start-finish line as they head down to 1. Dead even heat here all throughout the field. This should be a wild start here off of 2.
Yeah, got the preferred line going into turn 1 here. Hunter Hayward, though, able to navigate those bumps on the entry to 1 pretty well, carrying good momentum out of the corner. Still going to be a little bit side-by-side with Preston. Should be just clear, though. Now you see behind him, Curtis Preston and GT getting hooked up. Travis Everett going to be right behind them as well. Slide Job Racing guys already finding each other in the early part of this race. We're going to see if they hop out of line and start giving those bump drafts to make some passes.
And already there's Hayward jumps down the second. Curtis Preston to the back bumper. GT Irizarry there is Travis Everett, the Slide Job Racing crew. Chad Beesinger, a great starting position for him up there, running in that 6th position at the moment, with Trevor Massetti making his return tonight. We heard Andrew talk about taking the line away from your competition. We'll see if he can take the line away from this 48. And also, what's his strategy going to be? My thing is, I think the optimal race winning strategy is, wow, Curtis Preston to the outside of the 48. What a move from him to get the run there. As we go down the back straightaway, this is going to catch Hunter Hayward definitely out of position here, as you're going to have the Slide Job Racing trio probably draft right by this 48, but he's going to drop back kindly here and give him the position at the moment.
Yeah, that'll show you how much the draft impacts this race here. You go from 2nd to 5th in half a straightaway there for the 48, able to find his way back in line. Not going to be finding that gap too easily, but the longer the race goes on, the more everybody gets spread out, going to have more opportunities. But now it's going to be difficult because he's got 3 teammates. They're not going to be trying to pass each other too much here. Going to have to just see if he can manage his tires. And you talk about taking that line away, talking to Andrew Little. Especially on fresh tires, there's really only one line guys are going to be running around here. The outside in 1 does work a little. You have to be very careful about how you enter to get a good exit. Turn 2 though, the tunnel turn, right around the bottom is where you're going to want to be. Turn 3 does widen out, and I've seen guys make the outside work, even that middle lane work. You can carry a lot of momentum, but you've got to manage your corner speed. If you push too hard, you are going to find the wall on the exit for sure.
Looks like GT Rosario will take over the 2nd position as Travis Everett follows him past Curtis Preston, maybe Hunter Hayward also to follow. But yeah, back to the strategy thing I was talking about. What do these guys elect to do? For if you're a playoff guy, you could take the strategy. Let's take our set of tires at the stage and use that to our availability, and be able to use that tire advantage to get as many stage points. Or do you save a set in that first stage and go for the race win? I'd say that's the race winning strategy, because we've seen earlier this season 5 cautions in that race. We have the same type of trend of cautions here that could very well play out when you want to have that extra set of tires this year.
Well, I think it's the race winning strategy, but I think it's also the safest, because I feel most of the field is going to go that route. They're going to try to save a set during this first stage here. It's now GT battling Andrew Little in the lead. Third lane going into turn 3 here. Going to be able to clear Little now. GT previous season winner at Pocono, back to the lead here early in the going. But get back to the strategy, I think pretty much what we've seen all season. It's going to be a majority of the field that are not going to take tires on this first stage and have that extra set at the end. And I can tell you from personal experience, losing a race because of a strategy like that, it sucks to not have tires on a late caution. Everybody is going to blow your doors off, and I think that's just the safest route to go.
That's it. It's also, this is the spot where GT broke through and really got his streak rolling, if you think about it. This is where he got the win at the All-Star race at Bristol, but then came here and Pocono and got his first points paid in the season. So now out front again with his teammate Travis Everett, who really, he needs a big night. GT just needs a solid night here to be very well off here into the next point. But now Andrew Little dropping back into the graphs of Curtis Preston, and also Hunter Hayward there with Chad Biesinger, his teammate Trevor Massey, Ryan Bean. Also, as you can see the field, we said it's hard to get away from each other. Here goes Curtis Preston trying to make the move on Little. He side drafts, pull way out wide to get away and get away from that air. Didn't really work too well, kind of pulled him back almost. It looks like he'll still be side by side with the 68 through 1.
And you can race side by side pretty well, but the problem is, you see it already, how much the gap has started to increase between 3rd and 4th in our 2 leaders right now. Getting hooked up side by side, you can constantly slow each other down with that side draft. It allows everybody behind you to catch up, and everybody in front of you to pull away just drastically. And if you guys get side by side for too long and allow that gap ahead to exceed about 8/10 of a second, you've lost the draft, and you have to rely more on your tires for speed rather than the draft on these straightaways to keep up with the guys ahead of you. I'm sure we'll see at some points during this race, toward the back of the field especially, guys will be battling side by side and lose touch, and we'll have multiple packs of cars running around this racetrack.
Great racing at the moment here, as Travis Everett was able to take that lead from Irizarry. He's leading some laps, getting some well-needed bonus points. You're looking at Ryan Bean here, another 25, another round of 8 contender there. He entered the night 3rd of the drivers in points. So really not far back from GT Rosario, who was technically the leader of points, with Curtis Preston being locked in, such as the win in last week in Atlanta. It's really, really close between these guys, man, with the points, though.
Yeah, and you'll see it here. About 9th place, 1st to 9th place, all packed together And then you've got Cabin Ruff, just behind Cabin Ruff. Craig Burns is just on the cusp of losing that draft of the lead pack here. And then behind him, you've got Casey Kuntz and Nathan Campbell, Brock Potter. The field really getting strung out just outside the top 10. But inside the top 10, they are just like sardines, man. Just nose to tail, few gaps in between them here. Not letting anybody get away.
No, they're really not. It's definitely been very stacked up. I mean, really from our first position all the way back to that 9th spot, it's only a second and a half. So that is a very small margin. I mean, sometimes you see that for first and second after this many laps. So it's very much right now a pack of sardines style racing.
And looking back through the field, I've got to wonder what happened to the 38 of James Catrone. He's in 22nd position, and he is 24 seconds back from the lead at the moment. I don't know if he is just in severe tire saving mode here, really trying not to abuse his tires at all. But he has definitely lost touch with a majority of the field, let alone the leaders.
Yeah, he's definitely having some trouble for Catrone. I mean, you know, my question is, looking at the race car, no damage. Is he pulling a similar strategy what he did last week? You remember what he did at the Atlanta versus he went very, very slow in that first stage and trying to stretch the tires to that next stage. So is he trying something similar here? I mean, I think most people are going to not be taking tires at the stage right here at 20 anyways, because they want to save that set, but he could be really storming through the field as a stage if he's just saving.
Yeah, he's still going to be slower than the handful of guys that might elect to take the tires, but going to be the fastest of the guys that decide not to take any tires, if that is in fact what he's doing. And like you said, did the exact same thing at Atlanta, caught us off guard at Atlanta, thought maybe he was just a little bit off pace, but no, he was sandbagging, he was saving a little bit, trying to set up for that second stage, knowing he wasn't going to take any tires. And again, that's the beauty of the stage racing here. You don't want to lose the draft at Pocono, you don't want to lose the pack, but knowing that you've got a caution in another 10 laps that's going to bunch everybody back up, you're not going to fall a lap down running this much off the pace, so go ahead and save a good bit.
Maybe that's possible what this 38 is trying to do, but I tell you who's not saving is our top 9. They've been shifting positions back and forth. Now Irizarry back to the lead, Preston up the 3rd, Hayward up the 4th, as Little's going to slide back to 5th. Even Massetti was making some type of run there. They got all stacked up, and everybody got a big run on each other, but it's the 3 slide job guys. Man, they are just all on top of each other. They were stacked up there in one.
Yeah, they're racing pretty hard. GT maybe letting his teammate Travis Everett lead a couple laps, but back to the lead now. Thought maybe, knowing the situation Everett was in, GT might have pulled over and let the stage win go to his teammate, but I guess not. GT says, no, man, if you want them 10 points, you're going to have to earn it. You might just have to settle for 9.
Man, oh man, this is some great racing here. Halfway through stage 1, coming to complete lap 11, looking for that stage caution at lap 20. Our top drivers really quick at the moment. Our top 3 just, man, they just stack up right here on the first straightaway and get such a mega run as they stack up going down here into the corner. It's very impressive to see, but man, I tell you, Curtis Preston, I remember this race from last time. He got caught up in with the 48 wreck, I believe, of Hunter Hayward. And did have decent pace that race, but never really got a chance to lead. Now, does he have something different here tonight to be able to go out here and get out front? We've seen at Atlanta how strong he was. What is it with this time of the year and this time of the season when this 29 just turns it on for somehow?
I guess you could think of it like a warm-up. I mean, everybody it takes a lot of the season for him to get really warmed up, and then he just kind of hits his stride late. Like you said, had really good pace last. Hunter Hayward tries to cover the outside as Massetti now gets the good run to take over the 4th position, and they're side by side for the lead. Looks like Curtis Preston going to go with Everett here and leave GT out on the high side to make that pass. But I was just looking at it, and I mean, when your teammates are bunched up like that, when you're so dedicated to pushing each other from the top 3 spots, nobody's really going to want to pull out a line and especially if you're in the 3rd position, it's going to be hard to make that pass with how strong the draft is. Also, you have to consider we saw it a little bit before where all 3 teammates nose to tail on each other, given the huge bump that draft down the straightaway. You don't want to be too aggressive doing that. The guy in the middle there could be the hot dog between the bun and get shot out and have a disastrous result because of it. Not going to have a 5-second rule on a bent-up race car.
Look at this, who's coming into the picture now. The 88 of Trevor Massetti, the return of the 88. Remember, he got knocked out in the round of 12 here coming to the round of 8 because he had to miss 2 races. So, and mirror, last time we see him, he was a 2nd place finish in that round of 12 for him, that first race, almost coming up the win to lock him into the next round. So, no wins this season for that 88, but he has been one of the top contenders bar none. It would be interesting to see if he can get up here and challenge. And if I remember correctly, this was one of the races where this 88 was very strong, was the Pocono Raceway.
Well, again, back to the 3 slide job racing guys, the fact that they control the top 3 positions, it makes it incredibly hard for anybody to come up here and challenge them, because all they have to do is stay in line and you're not going to be able to pass them. You're going to have to hope, if you're Trevor Massetti or you're Andrew Little, Chad Beesing, or Hunter Hayward behind them trying to make those passes, that you can get some help from behind, get some bump draft, and make this into a plate race where you're side by side going down the straightaways trying to side draft off of each other to get the advantage, or hope for a mistake from the guys ahead of you. I think if you're, Massetti, he's got the pace, just has to hang out here, hope for a mistake, hope to get cycled forward, maybe during pit stops, just something, maybe on a restart, anything. But right now, you've just got to sit there and kind of wait it out.
Ooh, great racing for the lead here. GT and Travis Everett going back and forth. The slide job racing trio just putting on a show out front, trading the lead. Here comes Curtis Preston. He gets the push to Everett. He slides up to 2nd as GT slides back to 3rd, right in front of Massetti. But when is it Curtis Preston's turn? Because it's been his 2 teammates trading the lead back and forth.
I'm sure now, it's his best chance here to get side by side. He's not going to have too much help from behind. Everett's not going to have too much help from behind to get that draft and push him back to the lead. But Preston could not quite get side by side, couldn't side draft down the straightaway. Now that's going to allow GT, with the help of Massetti, to now close into the back bumper, see if GT goes to the inside. He looks for it, not quite going to get there though.
Yeah, he looked, but just didn't make the move here. Backs up into 1. Massetti, though, behind the slide job racing trio. There's Andrew Little, our pole setter, also hanging in there. Hunter Hayward, Chad Beesinger, believe also Ryan Bean and Kevin Ruff is our top 9, as they've opened up about a 5-second gap back to Casey Kuntz in that 31 machine back here, as him and Nathan Campbell, Craig Burns, Brock Potter, Bob Fitzpatrick all ride together from about the 10th to 14th position.
Yeah, it was a nice little battle forming up here. It's gotten spread out now, single file between these guys. This is really just the fight for that final stage point, that 10th position. And Nathan Campbell still trying to get up there and dig to get something for this stage. He's just got to pass 1 car to do it. And I've also got to point out 31 of Casey Kuntz caught me off guard. Used to seeing him in orange or yellow car, and he's in a white one tonight. Now it's like, wait, who's that?
He kind of did the same to me. I was like, what car is that? And he definitely had to catch me off guard. But another one of our playoff guys that we were looking at, Nathan Campbell, one of them right there in that 52 and 11th. But also, we were talking about Catrone, how he was really going slow back here. He's almost 41 seconds behind our leader. Our leaders are coming out of the tunnel turn. He's coming out of turn 3 now. So he's only about straight away ahead. His fastest lap of the race he turned was a 57.23 about 2 laps ago. So he's been running some very slow laps, trying just not to go a lap down. I think that's what he's looking at, is his relative, and just trying to manage this gap till we get to lap 20, because I tell you what, I think we're going to see the 38 be a rocket ship in stage 2, even on the older tires.
Well, I think even if he runs slow enough that he goes a lap down, he's going to get the lucky dog. Now we've got Craig Burns hitting pit road for that short pit before the stage here. Going to cycle himself to the lead after the stage and all the caution, or the pit stops, for the leaders. So strategy's already at play here. But Catrone, even if he goes laps down, going to get that lucky dog position and cycle back to the end of the field. No worse for wear for the driver there in the 38. So we'll have to see how his strategy plays out. Been looking at a lot of guys throughout the field here, and be it saving tires or just a little bit off pace, really getting spread out. Again, still not our top 9 or so, but everybody else.
Oh man, I think Craig Burns, the driver you were talking about, made a mistake. I think he might have sped on pit road.
And that is absolutely disastrous, because now he may still get the lucky dog, but his strategy to cycle forward, completely out the window. He has put himself even farther back in the field now with this mental error.
Yeah, Nolan Potter here coming by may take that spot for the lucky dog, as I believe Burns leaving pit road now. Yeah, coming off as Potter crosses the line. It's definitely going to be looking like it's going to be a battle between those two for the lucky dog.
See Potter now, he has the run, but lifted a ton for Burns. I think if I'm Nolan Potter, realizing the position I'm in, that I'm going to have to race him, I am sending it through turn 1 right there.
Yeah.
Like the lift.
Definitely is. White flag, though, for our stage battle up front. Curtis Preston taking a look at his teammate Travis Everett down to the inside here late in the last lap of the stage, trying to get those points. He's already locked himself in to the next round. So, Everett needing the points. This is showing teammates right here not as big a deal probably as you would think. These guys are going to race hard for the points that they need. And look at this. Everett getting the push from Irizarry. He's going to get shoved out ahead here off the tunnel turn. And, ooh, Preston right on the front bumper of the 14 Irizarry. He's going to have to probably block here the 88. The 88 backs it down through the final corner of 3. Everett needing a good race here tonight. Entered 7th in the points. He's going to come out of 4 or 3 here and win stage number 1 here tonight at the RSR Cup Series and get them 10 bonus points to help his cause of getting into the next round.
Well, caution's out for the stage. Ryan Bean, the driver that's on the bubble in that 4th position for the championship race, only got 2 points, as opposed to Travis Everett's 10, and being back by just over 10 points from Ryan Bean. I mean, if I'm Ryan Bean, I got to think, man, I need to go out here and hustle for the 2nd stage. I just gave up a lot of points there. Need to get a better finish on this stage here. Can't afford to ride around an 8th. I mean, he didn't look like he moved very much from that position during that entire stage.
Yeah, he started 7th, got to 8th, and really kind of rode there. And Andrew Little, even our pole setter, he got the 5th place stage points, and he's right there in points also. So you got to be thinking about that too for their competition-wise. GT right there in 3rd. These guys haven't locked themselves in yet, but they're getting points like that. You got to remember who you're racing against, and right now, it's looking good for the 59 as he goes up the standings as this caution comes in.
We're talking about Andrew Little getting those 5 points. He was already 5 points ahead of Ryan Bean, so now that's going to be an 8-point difference between the 25 and the 68 here. That Ryan Bean's going to have to try to make up if he wants to leapfrog Andrew Little, in the hopes that if somebody wins or if Everett makes up a bunch of points, he's not going to get himself knocked out here.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight if someone like Everett wins, because he's near the bottom of that leaderboard. Even though with those stage points, that very well helps him. Kevin Ruff and Nathan Campbell were drivers who needed some. Kevin Ruff got the 9, and Campbell got the 10th place. So still stage points for them, but only the 1 and 2 that's going to hurt them, especially with Everett, who's right around them in points, getting the 10 as both of these guys will be looking to come to pit road, just going to be looking for fuel. I believe there's going to be some tire changes. That's going to shake up our field, but I believe most guys are just going to be looking for fuel here as we're looking to save a set of tires for that final stage, or extra set.
Well, I'm going to be keeping an eye on our timing here to see how long everybody's pit stop is. Will give us a good indication of who took tires and who just took full fuel, and let you guys know after our interview exactly how that all shakes out, because gonna have to jump into that right once they get off the pit road here. But everybody coming on now to make their pit stops. Big moment here. You cannot have a mistake like Craig Burns did and slide through your box. Can't get caught speeding. Even sliding through your box here, it's only going to take you a second or so to throw it in reverse and get back in there to get your service done. But a second on pit road is huge.
That it is here as they all come down for service. Oh, man, Massetti. Big slide in the 88 machine. Even Curtis
Oh,
Preston, a little bit of a sideways slide there. A few guys really sliding through the box there.
yeah, Massetti was not only did he slide through the box, but then he was too far to the right, had to back up and pull forward again. He's going to be losing a lot of track position on this.
Interesting call for these drivers. Looks like GT, Travis Everett, both those sticking to no tires. Also Hunter Hayward. But I believe Curtis Preston, his teammate, he went the opposite. He's won, so he's not going with the gamble there. He wants to go and win stage 2. As we'll go ahead and bring up Travis Everett after they got their pit stops done after his stage 1 win here tonight at the Pocono Raceway.
Hey, Travis, Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Brandon, we got you, bud.
Well, Travis, congratulations on the stage win here. Now yourself a valuable 10 points, considering the position you're in points currently, man. It looked like your teammates were going to hassle you there for a little bit and try to take that 1 bonus point at least away from you there, but able to hold them off with some incredible speed for the stage win. How's the car feeling out there, and how's the racing?
It definitely feels better in clean air. Not so sure everybody else would play so nice if it wasn't teammates behind me. Yeah, they definitely gave me some trouble there. Though I don't expect them to lay over one bit, though.
Well, you guys were coordinating pretty well with each other up there, giving the 3-way bump draft and really just holding steady, and it wasn't until there was a decent gap between you guys in that 4th car that you'd start to race pretty good. How crucial do you think that's going to be, getting you guys in line with each other throughout the duration of this race?
What was that, Brandon? I didn't get that, bud.
How important do you think it's going to be for you guys to stay tucked in nose to tail with each other to kind of control who can pass you and when?
I think the draft definitely plays a big role here, a lot more than I'd like it to. But I think if you get some wear on tires, I think you might see a couple people break away. I don't think it'll be a complete pack race.
Well, man, we're going to be watching with a lot of interest up here. It's been great racing so far to see if you guys can stick to the 1-2-3 strategy you've been on so far, and see if you can bring home another 10 points for stage 2, bud. Let you get ready to restart this thing, and wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it. Hope to talk to y'all again tonight.
All right, that was Travis Everett, your stage 1 winner here at the R-Star Cup Series. As man, what a drive for him to get those 10 bonus points. But now he'll be able to restart out front with old tires and new tires behind him. It's all galore here strategy. Right now, I believe the first car on tires is Curtis Preston. I'm unsure if Andrew Little took it. I believe he did.
Well, looking at it, I think
Yes, he
Andrew
did.
Little, yeah, 15.25. I'm also
Stage one.
wondering, Hunter Hayward had a 13-second, 2 seconds longer than Everett
He
or
did not.
GT. Just a slow pit stop for 48, but also James Catrone and Anthony Yunez. Anthony Yunez taking tires, Catrone and Massetti not taking tires this stop as well.
Interesting to see. We've seen Catrone really slow the car down. We'll see what he can do here this stage as the green flag is back out and we're away. Everett off to the finish line here. He's going to pull up high, and here comes the rest of the field. Remember, some cars not on tires, some cars are on tires here as we head down the 1. GT Irizarry there in the 2nd position. The 29 of Curtis Preston, first car on tires. He's going to be ripping the outside. Here comes Andrew Little up top also on the new set tires.
That Little looking to get a lot of stage points here, taking advantage of his fresh set of tires. And now you can see Hunter Hayward got shuffled to the inside. Ryan Bean able to find the way to the outside. Now take over 4th. Curtis Preston absolutely sends it to the inside of his teammate going into the tunnel turn. And now takes over 2nd place on his fresh set of tires.
Oh man, here he comes for the lead now. Curtis Preston to the bottom of 3. He takes the lead from teammate Travis Everett. He's going to try to set sail on these fresh set of tires and says, well, I got to win. I don't need stage points. I don't need the guarantee of having an extra set of tires this race. If it stays like this, I'll be in good position still.
And looked like Kevin Ruff got a fresh set of tires as well. himself and Andrew Little both sent Hunter Hayward 3 wide through the middle on the backstretch last lap, and they are being aggressive. Now looking to the inside of GT out of turn 1.
Looking to the outside. Ooh, it's got very wild here as Bean goes by Everett to the inside. Here comes Little, still stuck behind the 14 and the 59. He's yet to get by on the new set of tires, but the rest of the field from there, Hunter Hayward with Nathan Campbell underneath him in the 52. They got a stack up there going on.
Schrittenthal trying to follow Campbell through. Fitzpatrick just behind them. Brock Potter, though, absolutely sailed it on the outside of turn 3 to get the pass done on Fitzpatrick.
Man, oh man, you can see just the difference in tire strategies. Some drivers drop it back like the 48 of Hunter Hayward as Brock Potter goes by, and some drivers surging forward like the 2 and the 4 as they have taken their set of tires. And look, there's Catrone also on the 38. Remember, he went very, very slow the first run. He's coming forward on the old tires. So great job by him in that 38 to plan this out. Didn't get stage points, but going forward, maybe stage points here and an extra set of tires for the end of the race.
And this is where it gets really uneasy for the guys on fresh tires, because we saw from the start of the race to the end of that first stage how close our top 9 were. You look at the front of the field now, it is pretty spread out, especially from the 4th position up to the lead. And this is the risk you take. If you've got fresher tires, you've got to get around the guys on old tires quickly. You can't let the field spread out too much. If you lose the draft to the guys ahead of you, even though you've got fresh tires, if they're all drafting together, you are not going to catch them.
That's very, very true. The draft is such a big factor. You cannot get left by yourself. The times are so much slower. And oh, we're seeing a lot of action here. Yunez slides up in front of the 38 of Catrone as Brock Potter's got the 48 of Hunter Hayward directly ahead of him to the outside, as Curtis Preston still leads with Ryan Bean up to 2nd, Andrew Little up to 3rd, having Ruff up to 4th now, and Nathan Campbell looking to take 5th. As yeah, you're seeing definitely the big swing of a tide here with guys doing different types of strategies. When do the tires start to even out? Also, we'll have to see.
Well, I don't think we're going to see too much of an evening out compared to what we're used to, especially with the shorter runs, the stages as well. I think, you know, you can afford to push just a little bit harder, and you don't get as long of a run for the tires to eventually just start coming back to everybody. Everything evens out. The tires get a lot, or the temperatures in the tires get a lot more similar to one another, and then you'll see guys start ticking off the same times. And back to my point, what I said about losing the draft to the cars ahead of you with fresh tires, Kevin Ruff, 4th place right now. He is loads back from our front 3, also on fresh tires, and he's got no hope of catching them.
Yeah, really, like you said, just nothing in front to draft off of. No run. And look at this, though. Ezel up in the 5, battling with the 31 of Casey Coots there for the 13th position, as it's stacking up here with different cars on different strategies. We've got a lot more racing this stage. It was mostly single file through that first stage, but this is what the beauty of different strategies and tire limits can do. It stacks the field up. Here goes Control to the inside of the 48, and the 31 was thinking the same on the 38, but he's got the follow suit.
And it's just the strategies on tires, the differences on tires. Guys are having such different runs on the guys on the older tires, and when you get a run, you can't afford to slow down. You can't afford to lift here, lose all your momentum, because guys are just going to blow your doors off. You have to take the run when you get it. In a lot of instances, especially when the guys ahead of you that you're having to check up for are on the older tires, you can afford to sail it in a little bit more, be more confident in the fact that you're going to have the grip to make that stick and make the pass done. You cannot take your time. Some guys have found out the hard way, lost touch with the guys that are on the similar strategy to them, but other guys just trying to stay out of the way and not get run over here. GT's been pretty big about that, waving guys on by and not giving them any problems.
Yeah, you know, that it's always interesting to see how good some drivers are at letting the faster traffic by without losing time, but also being very patient and careful about it. Some drivers don't have that skill set, and that's one thing I can say that 14 definitely has.
No, absolutely. He understands the fact he can race them, but at the end of the day, he's just costing himself time and tire wear, as well as the guy on the fresher tires. Not only costing them tire wear, but he's also costing them patience. They are eventually going to run out of patience. So he just says, you know what, man? You're faster. Go ahead and go on by. I've got nothing to race for at this point. Still a lot of laps left here. I'll see if I can run you down later when I've got some slightly fresher tires, and also hope that you pay that in kind and let me by when I catch you.
And looking at these three here, Calvin Ruff, Nathan Campbell, Zach Schrinthal, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Little pack here. We also got a 3-man pack up front. Andrew Littles took the lead from Curtis Preston, with Ryan Bean up here in the third too, as they've all three broken away to about a 4.6-second lead. They'll possibly be the ones battling for the stage win here at lap 40. We'll see what they could do.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 3-car breakaway for the lead, then another 3-car breakaway from 4th to 6th, and then Travis Everett running his own little pack here from 7th back, battling there. Still holding pretty strong with the older tires, but I think pretty much everybody that did take tires, I'll have to go back and look at this here. The only car that's on fresh, or excuse me, not even fresh tires, just a shorter pit stop, James Catrone, similar pit stop time to the rest of the field, but nobody else really on the fresher tires that's not up here in the top 6.
Yeah, the fresh tires definitely have equated to track position. You can see back here, look at this Hornet's Nest. Hunter Hayward, Chad Easinger, 2 drivers that were up front earlier, now have dropped back due to this tire strategy. And now back to 14th for the 48. He's battling with the 6 of Rusty Modesty, who's up the inside here. As we got Craig Burns and Ryan Ezel in the 5, not too far behind the right. So great battling back here in the edge of the fringe of the stage points.
Well, luckily for Craig Burns, able to get the lucky dog after his miscue on the pit road, trying to pull some strategy to cycle himself forward. He's made himself back up, I believe, just shy of where he was initially before that pit stop. So able to rebound nicely, but the track position is so huge here. The track position, it would have worked out wonderfully for the 12 had he been able to make that pit stop and cycle to the lead with only slightly more tires compared to what the leaders currently have.
Right here, we look in front of Rusty Modesty. You got James Catrone. In that 11, you got GT Irizarry, the 31 of Casey Coots, and 54 to Anthony Yunez. Right here, this is all fringe of stage points as Modesty closes it in the 6. He's trying to get up here and get himself some stage points in that 6 machine. Only got to make up 3 more spots, and he will be in position to get some points. And guess what? Next time by, it'll be looking to be 6 to go.
Well, we talked about that going into this race, it still wasn't like anybody had to be in a must-win mindset. But the strategies James Catrone is implementing, it almost seems like he's in that mindset himself. He could mathematically still point his way in, but giving up all the stage points from stage number 1 to try the strategy of going no tires to just save a little bit, it seems like he's going for an all-or-nothing play here. Ooh, just behind him, Ryan Ezel gets into the wall out of 3 pretty decently. He can have some right side damage on the 5.
Oh no, remember we talked about no damage wanted here at all tonight, because that's going to hurt your chances of making speed. You can see there 30 at Catrone there running in the 13th position. Hunter Hayward there behind him. Modesty battling with Irizarry in front of this for the 11th position, with Yunez up to 10th, and Casey Kuntz in the 9th position directly ahead as they run up on Brock Potter and Travis Everett. Everett, though, in 7th position on them old tires. I do not know how he has pulled that off.
Well, it's working out well. He's going to be able to extend the points that he's getting from stage 1 here, get a pretty decent handful for stage 2 if he can hold this position. But at the same time, the guys that he's needing to chase down that are inside the top 4 are up there now in the top 3. Ready to pounce and not only take the stage win, but that's just a significant amount of points they're going to be able to add and buffer themselves for that cutoff line.
Yeah, it's all about building that buffer as the racing continues to be pretty wild here, as guys trying to get positions here in the end of stage 2 to position themselves for that final 45 lap run down to the end of this thing. And those 45 laps can happen pretty quickly, so you got to get some track position now if you want to get back up there and have a shot, because that's the risk of the strategy of saving the tires. You lose the track position that you got to make up now. As you know, Curtis Preston, who's on the opposite strategy, it's just completely different where he is going to be out front cruising.
Yeah, and at this point in the race, there's not really much reason to hit that panic button. You know that you've got something in the bank. The problem is, after the second stage, you're not guaranteed a caution, and you've kind of cycled yourself back now with pretty poor track position. And passing is difficult, especially when everybody's on even tires. So you're going to have an uphill battle here. You've got to hope that you get that caution somewhere toward the middle or the end, preferably the end after everybody's already made their pit stop and taken what should be their last set of tires, and be able to capitalize, because if you can get the right timing on that, you are going to look like a god out here, just flying around everybody like they're standing still, and that's what they're set up for. But you've got to have that caution, and it's been pretty green so far. Not really much in the way of car contact between each other. Everybody giving everybody a lot of room here, being really respectful, not pushing too many issues.
I'd say, well, this is also giving good stage points, too. I mean, look at this. Andrew Little right now going to get 9 points. Bean, like you said, he needs to get those points. He's going to be 8th. Kevin Ruff there in 4th and 5th is Nathan Campbell. So really a good portion of our playoff guys getting great stage points here. That's going to shake up the points a lot here, man. And if this race doesn't play out where that strategy of saving an extra set of tires really comes back to bite these guys, they're going to leave here with just as many points as a lot of guys who possibly could finish ahead of them in this race. So this is looking very strong from them if they can stay a pretty calm race. That's what they're hoping for, a straightforward calm race like it's been so far, and it'll be in their hands. But right now, Bean and Little just a little too far back to make a push at Preston, but they'll be coming to 2 to go this time. They are within distance. I mean, it's only 3/10 of a second, but Curtis Preston looking strong out front.
I'm not sure what happened to James Catrone. I think he may have hit Bob Fitzpatrick on pit road as well. I think Catrone trying the short pit to cycle himself forward here for track position, just ahead of our leaders. But you talked about Kevin Ruff and Nathan Campbell. They're gaining good stage points, but the guys they need to gain on are just ahead of them, gaining even more. So they're not really losing too much, only a point or two, but they're staying even, and that's pretty important when the guys you're racing against are running so well.
And right now, they'll be coming this next time by to take the white flag for the stage. And Andrew Little making a charge, man. He got really close to the tilt there. Got to be careful not to risk just these 10, that one extra point for damage on the race car, because that's one of the keys of this race, keeping the side of your race car nice and pristine as we come into the white flag. I don't think he's going to have a shot at Curtis Preston right here. He just needs to think about holding off that 25.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the draft that it looks like Curtis is going to be getting here possibly by the end of this lap from James Catrone. He's not going to be able to make that pass, not going to be able to utilize the momentum. But now under fire from Ryan Bean, definitely need to think big picture here. Don't put yourself in a bad position. Don't try to grab too much, like you said. Don't get into the wall. Don't repeat your mistake you had last lap coming out of turn 2. Even if you give up the position, it's much better than ruining your chance of a good finish at the end of this race.
Very right. This is all about the big picture racing right now. And right now, we're seeing a big picture for Curtis Preston as his momentum continues to build throughout this season. He's been winning races left and right. Now he's looking to win another stage. Out of 3 this time, he's going to win stage number 2. As Andrew Little's going to hang on the second, Ryan Bean third. And then the battle from there, I believe Kevin Russ going to hold on to that 4th position. Nathan Campbell 5th. Zach Schrittenthal 6th. As some good points there. Looks like Potter, Kuntz, Yunez, and then Everett's going to edge out Modesty for 1 point. What a job by him on the old tires to hold him off.
11 points is better than 10.
That is very true. That 1 point could come back to be the 1 point that Travis Everett needs at the end of this round. And I tell you what, if it does, we better come back and remember that 1 point he fought off right there and fought hard for.
Well, I imagine this time by, we should not see anybody not take tires. So 4 tires for everyone, except Catrone should not be hitting pit road, just pit. I believe he should have taken 4 tires during his stop, and he did not. He took fuel only. That confuses me.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Yeah, only an 8.6 second pit stop. I'm pretty baffled. Ended up at the back of the field here. Gonna have to come in and pit anyway. Maybe he only took rights and is gonna take lefts on this stop.
I was going back and looking, and looks like he only took lefts on that stop right there. So,
I mean, not necessarily a bad call. At least he only took lefts, but I think if you were gonna pit before the stage, the pits were closed for the stage, I think you just take 4 and then just stay out.
yeah.
Well, I think that's the most bold and interesting pit call I have seen in quite a while. So we'll have to keep a close eye on the 38.
Yeah, sorry to be so, I don't really know what to say. I'm just trying to think of that strategy. I mean, maybe puts the right sides on down, just it speeds his pit stop up, but does it get him back to the position where he was at already? I mean, we'll have to see here as they come down to go to pit road, but yeah, I don't know, Brandon. That's a call for me to analyze for sure, to see maybe there's something I'm not knowing out here.
Yeah, that is definitely something that you will not ever see. I mean, it's smart. He put the lefts on rather than the right.
That's very true.
He's going to have good right side tire wear when he puts on the right side, but I've never seen anybody do that. So that's congrats, James, for showing me, and I don't know about Zach, but definitely me something new out here on the racetrack. Ooh, and Curtis Preston looks like he made a mistake, slid through his pit box.
Yeah, he's did that twice now. So, and Andrew Little got the car jacked up first there. I think he should come out up pit road technically ahead of that 29. So, we'll see how it works out. But, yeah, there it is. Race off pit road. Andrew Little going to win that race. And good job by him in that 68 machine set on pole. Got second in that stage. He's done a great job. But the man who's logged in won our second stage of the night. Let's hear from Curtis Preston in the 29 machine about his stage 2 win here tonight at the Pocono Raceway.
Hey, Curtis, Brendan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, Brandon?
Well, man, congrats on the stage 2 victory here. Pretty much had everybody covered, taking tires. Only a couple guys decided to take tires with you here, and figured, why not, man? You won last week, locked yourself into the championship race. Go out here and try to take a secured spot from somebody else here and just throw everything but the kitchen sink at it. And it's worked out for you so far. Are you worried about having that lack of set of tires that a majority of the field has?
As far as I know, only about 4 or 5 guys got an extra set, but you're always worried about it, even if it's just one. So, I mean, that's rolling the dice. We'll see what happens here. If we get a late race yellow, we'll be hosed. If it goes green, we'll be sitting in a good spot. It's just part of the game.
Well, I think you're one of the only guys that's had the opportunity to be out front and trailing on equal tires. How big is the difference between having the clean air and just being tucked in behind 1 or 2 other guys?
Oh, it's huge. Car gets really tight behind another car. You got to be real patient picking up the throttle, but it's kind of a 2-part game here, Pocono. As soon as you hit these big, long straightaways, you got to drive it like it's Talladega. You got to have some help to make a pass, so we'll see what's going on here.
All right, man, let you get back and ready to restart this thing, and see if you can keep that thing up front and possibly play spoiler and take a win away from somebody that's trying to lock themselves in. But best of luck, man. Hopefully we'll talk through the end of this thing.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the race.
All right, that was stage 2 winner Curtis Preston, as he'll restart in that second position, losing the race off of pit road. You already what he said. You need help on these straightaways. It's almost like Talladega. So, gonna need some friends and some help. A lot of his help is technically back there in the 8th and 13th position. So, that's the drivers who did the opposite strategy. First one there ever on that strategy. Yeah, I believe it would be GT, Hunter Hayward, Massetti, Catrone, I believe a few other. But yeah, definitely a few guys on that strategy. But man, we'll see how it plays out for him. Curtis, like you said, if it stays green, I think it plays right into his hand. But if it doesn't stay green, he's going to possibly be up the creek without a paddle.
And I mean, he said there's only a handful of guys that are on that strategy with an extra set. And if it doesn't work out for you, the worst you're going to finish is maybe just outside top 5. So you're not giving up a whole lot. But if you're in somebody like Curtis Preston's situation, it doesn't matter where you finish. You're already locked in. These races right here don't matter. You're just racing for wins. And if you don't get it, no big deal. But you shoot for that. That is the name of the strategy here. And just going for the most speed that you possibly can and hope it works out.
Well, that's racing for you folks. Sometimes you just gotta play like it is. As we're going back to green flag racing. Little great start for him as we got him over Schrittenthal back here in the 5th position. You can see how tough it is to see up ahead. You can only see Williams Ryan Bean there in that 3rd position. Then you see Andrew Will diving off into the corner as he leads this race. As Bean slides up to 2nd, Nathan Campbell up to 4th, Preston back to 3rd. This is getting stacked up here. Let's see how people cut through this field and try to get a position back.
And you see it's only a couple guys getting stuck on the inside lane here and how much speed they are at a disadvantage compared to the guys in the draft all tucked up against the wall here. And that's really not the place you want to be. I think ideally you're looking for a gap. It's almost like running places like Kansas where everything just seems to focus up against the wall and you just try to find that gap to the outside. Otherwise, you're going to get cycled to the back.
A lot of hard racing going on near this pack back here. Looks like Hunter Hayward racing with Ryan Ezel there in the 5 down the front straight. He'll slide in behind that 5 machine. There goes Catrone to look to make the pass to his inside as they go down the front straightaway. Ooh, sliding GT Rosario to 14. Yeah, he's on the apron getting back up to speed. This could be a little bit of an incident here as they try to slide past him. Yes, they do. I tell you what, I don't know if he got contact or what. Oh, yes, a little bit of contact between him and Rusty Modesty.
Yeah, it looks like GT not quite anticipating how early Modesty was going to break into the corner there. A little bit of contact to the left rear. Got GT sent around. Modesty actually came out pretty decent from that contact. GT losing a whole lot of momentum and a whole lot of positions as a result.
Yeah, that's a huge loss of time for our previous race winner here at Pocono. And also a driver needing a good finish here tonight as he's a round of 8 contender. As you see, 31, Casey Kuntz battling Yunez there in that 54 machine. Craig A. Burns in the 12, Hunter Hayward in the 48, Ryan Ezel in the 5, all sitting back here about from that 10th position on back.
Yeah, and we're kind of seeing the start of what we saw in the previous run. The top 3 break away, and then from 4th to 6th, they kind of break away. And then it's just the rest of the field to sort it out amongst themselves. And it's honestly not a bad spot to be in. And looking up here, Travis Everett and Campbell in the 52, working really well together. Travis Everett not trying to make the pass, really just giving the bump drafts, helping Campbell as much as he can to catch to the back of the top 3 here. Schrittenthal is just kind of along for the ride saying, guys, if you're going, I'm going too.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you know, the 3-car breakaway was happening, and if I'm Everett in the 59 and I'm Campbell in the 52 and Schrittenthal, who was part of that group there that fell back last time, you got to get going here to get latched onto the back of this 29, this 25, and 68 because they last time just checked out from the field and opened up a huge gap. And if they do that again, they're going to be in position to battle it out for the win if this thing stays green.
Yeah, as much as you can break away from the field is a huge advantage, especially under pit stops, because essentially that's free time that you know you're going to get back on pit road once you come off. Even if they short pit you a little bit, you've got a little bit of breathing room before you say, okay, I don't have to come down next time. I can maybe even stay out another lap. I've got this gap built up already, and I can use it just a little bit here. And again, talking about this second group of 3 here, trying to run the leaders down. It's something, what was it, Darrell Waltrip used to say, co-opetition?
Yes, sir, he did. And they're going to need some of that here. And they're closing in. Campbell and Everett, they've done a good job. And same with Schrittenthal to closing in, especially because Bean and Little racing for the lead. As Bean goes to the inside, I think Little will fight back to the outside. Now let's go give Curtis Preston the outside here. You know, if really, I was so impressed with how good Travis Everett's speed was with those old tires. I think he's going to be a problem if this thing even stays green because he was so quick on that run.
Yeah, absolutely. And he noticed that they were racing up there in the front 3. As soon as he noticed it, took advantage and from the exit of turn 1 until the tunnel turn was planted to the back bumper of Nathan Campbell, giving him as much momentum as he could to try to close this in. It looks like maybe Curtis Preston got into the wall out of turn 3.
Ooh, very close there. I'm about to go back and check that out.
Ooh, it was Little.
It was Little, actually, yeah. Preston very close also, but Little right front into the wall. Have a look at that front end to that car.
It's not too bad, just a little bit of a wrinkle. The cowl flap on the hood, you can see a gap in it. Not going to be helping straight line speed, but the more that the tires wear in, the more these guys have to be off throttle, the less that becomes an issue. It is when everybody is on pretty fresh, really high grip tires that is the big disadvantage, especially when you're in the lead. You don't have that draft to help tow you along and kind of take the air off the nose and make it less of a factor anyway.
3-car breakaway turns into a 6-car breakaway. Andrew Little though out front with a little bit of damage here as we hop on board with the 4th place man, or trying to be 4th place man of Travis Everett. There is Nathan Campbell. It's back by him. And here up front, Curtis Preston goes to the inside of Andrew Little down to 1. I think this is going to move for the lead. Little up high up the racetrack.
Yep, Little washed up just a little bit. That opens up the door. There's a fine line running the outside and one in turn 1 to where you can carry a lot of momentum and then just being way too high that you can't get the power back down and carry the momentum out of the corner. Little just found it.
And Little starting to slide back even more. Here comes Bean. Maybe that front damage starting to make him struggle just a little bit. Down into 3. Bean's going to try everything to pass here, but Curtis Preston saying, keep racing side by side, guys. Maybe I can break this draft and get away.
Well, if he's able to break away here, it's going to take a little bit of work and cooperation for some other drivers to run him back down. If they keep going side by side between Bean and Little, it's absolutely possible. But the second 2 cars decide to hook up and not race each other anymore, they're going to run Preston back down. It's just a matter of time. It's just how far into the lead can he get and try to manage that gap. And they're going to be coming up on pit stops here before too long, green flag pit stops. And we're going to see, what the timing is, because timing is going to be crucial, especially if you're somebody at the back here, knowing you need to cut into the gap that the front pack has managed to be able to break away. You're going to have to short pit and hope that you can utilize your fresh tires and absolutely turn some burner qualifying laps to close that gap back in and hope to latch on by the time everything cycles around.
Looking here at Massetti, he's got the inside of Brock Potter down the front straightaway. Here's their race for that 7th position, the first car away from that pack. They got Hunter Hayward also in the 48, not too far behind. He's got up to 19. We have a caution. And that shakes everything up.
Oh, no. Looks like Nolan Potter and Kevin Ruff.
No, that's not good. Kevin Ruff, one of our playoff contenders.
That's side draft gone wrong.
That it is. We'll have to go back on the Freaky Fast replay for our first caution of the night. Well, technically 3rd caution, but first real caution of the night brought to you by Order Nissan Central. And you'll see here a little bit of contact here. Nolan Potter coming up the racetrack. Maybe Kevin Ruff coming down a little bit of contact as they collect into each other, sending the 112 down into the inside wall. Hard hit for that car as it sends it right back up the racetrack into oncoming traffic, as everybody does a good job not to hit him there.
This shakes up everything because nobody's come down pit road yet, which tells me they can't make it from here. So they're gonna have to pit here, but probably make another pit stop after this, unless you can do a ton of saving. This, again, it always seems to come down to a fuel mileage race. Somehow, Pocono, we just found it.
That we did. The question thing here is, we went back green here at lap 45. We didn't do about 10 laps, Do these guys who have the extra set come and get that set now to try to gap these guys for when they pit for the green flag stop? I mean, you definitely going to make it to the end from here, but is it, you got 2 sets of tires, you don't have that many laps left in this race. Do you go ahead and burn that set now?
I think you have to. Barring another caution, I mean, essentially, that second pit stop almost functions as one that close to the end of the race. But you can't afford to be too far back because you're not going to have that many laps at the end of the race to run them down with the fresh set. I think you have to take it now and utilize it now. Whenever you get the full fuel run, slap on the last set at the end and hope you're close enough or you've been able to gap them enough. But it looks like some guys electing not to come down pit road here, going to run out the normal fuel run here and only pit one more time.
Ooh. Looks like most of the guys who had the extra set are coming down. Of Travis Everett, looks like Trevor Massetti, Hunter Hayward, and GT Rosari. This could very well work out very well in these four's favor.
I think so. I mean, Travis Everett, this is kind of the moment I think he's been waiting for, realizing that this is his opportunity, and he's playing it right at the moment. I think this was absolutely what he needed to do with that extra set. GT doing the same. I think GT not having any damage. I didn't see any on the race car with his contact from Modesty. Looks like Hunter Hayward following suit as well, going to be coming off pit road just behind Everett. So I think these three, if it goes green from here and we have to get those green flag pit stops, I think this works out for them wonderfully.
I think it does too, and they're only got the restart in the 11th position on back too. Not even that far. So they should be pretty quickly, I'd imagine, to that lead.
Yeah, it's all going to be about traffic management here, just making sure they don't get bottled behind anybody. But at the same time, nobody's going to be able to break away too far, especially, you know, Curtis Preston in the lead. And that's another question. How much was Curtis Preston burning up his tires to make that pass to get to the lead? What does Andrew Little have left in the tank? He didn't come down to get his damage fixed. Can Ryan Bean capitalize here and take over the lead?
Many questions we have here.
So many
late
questions.
In the going. Exactly. So many questions that we have to ask, but we'll have to find out just by watching as you all at home are here. Thank you all for tuning in here again tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcast. And if you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button right beside the subscribe button, as that really helps us out here on the YouTube platform. And also, we can get out here in our chat and most likely at some point a link for our giveaway for the McConey Setup Shop coaching lesson. So definitely a great prize there for any iRacer out there, and you're required to have iRacing to enter. So you must have iRacing. So yeah, we'll see who can win that. That'll be very cool to see. Get some coaching lessons from some of the best drivers out there in iRacing. And there it is out there in chat now. So if you want to enter that giveaway, make sure you follow that link, follow the steps for each entry, and you'll get a free entry. So completely free. Get yourself in there and learn from the best iRacers out there how to make yourself quicker.
And let me tell you guys, I've raced against both of them, and they're fast. You definitely want to learn all you can from them. They will blow your doors off.
Very quick, very quick. That's for sure. As we'll be heading down to the tunnel turn before we kick off this restart. This is gonna be fun to watch. We're gonna have a storming pack of drivers here on new tires, especially 4 of them, trying to really get up there. I think if they can, the thing is, if they can get locked up together, all 4 of them should pull away very easily and build a gap to where they can pit even later than the guys behind them, then come out with fresher tires at the end of the race also.
Well, you got to be thinking that much ahead, and I don't know if too many of them are. I think in most cases the goal is, okay, I've got guys near me on the same set of tires. I need to put as many cars on older tires between them and myself as possible, rather than thinking about, hey, maybe we should work together here and stretch this gap. You've got to be patient coming back to take the green here.
See how it all plays out. Curtis Preston, the leader, giving us back to green. There it is. As we cross the start-finish line, Preston will have a slight edge over Andrew Little, but now, as we head down the 1, those new tires should take no more than a lap to get fired up, while these old tires have a little bit of life left in them. Let's see how it plays out for these gentlemen. As Massetti way up the racetrack, way too high. That gray up there, that is no grip. And it is about 4 wide down the back straightaway.
Oh boy, GT thought better of that, decided to back out of it, and this is not what you want to have happen, getting bottled down. All of them 3 wide. Somebody had to give here, and it just did nothing but slow the 3 of them down. They've still got plenty of time to get to the front, but this is allowing Curtis Preston to kind of stretch his lead out a good bit here over them. They're going to have to push a little bit harder to get back to him.
Yeah, very well. You can see the 4 drivers there. Look at the stack up ahead of them. Craig Burns right ahead of Travis Everett. It's going to be 3 wide between the 3 tires there. Almost 4 wide with Hayward. Man, oh man, here comes Ezel. Here comes the 3 machine of Fitzpatrick. It's going to be 3 wide between those guys as we head down the front straightaway. What great racing we're seeing here. As again, tire strategies changing everything up here at the moment.
Yeah, that big checkup, I believe it was Nathan Campbell and Ryan Bean, got into each other going into turn 3. Caused that big stack up, but everybody able to navigate it. And you mentioned Hunter Hayward. I said patience was the game, and I think out of the 4 that were up here we were talking about with the fresh tires, he's probably the one that's going to be the most patient, I would imagine. Because last time they came here, he tried to be too aggressive on the fresh tires, caused a big wreck.
That's not good. 4 wide on the toe turn. He was being patient until you talked about it, Brandon. What are you doing?
I ain't saying nothing. He didn't learn anything. He said, hell with it, I'm going.
As he takes position here, sorry, somebody got squeezed out of all that. As Everett's going too. These guys on 3 tires trying to get everything. It's getting wild. Fitzpatrick up top of the 3-2. He's making time, rolling the top. Here comes again. Oh man, big runs for Catrone. Here comes Irizarry. They're gonna be 3 wide down here into the corner. Hayward into 38. Oh man, these guys are taking lives off. Oh wow, years off my life.
Yeah, oh man, GT again in the middle here, and it is tight. Poor GT, he keeps getting shoved in the middle of 3 and 4 wide here, having to be the guy that backs out, costing himself time. Ooh, it looks like Catrone had some contact sliding through the tunnel turn. I think he gets that straight. We're still under green. Man.
This is wild stuff here, Brandon. I tell you what, Everett, though, the one making the most time, I believe, through all this. He's the one who's cleared the traffic. As you can see here from the back bumper of Brock Potter, you see the Florida Hayward, he jumps on the head of these scoops, and he slides up the push at 6 by. But that's his teammate, but he haven't cleared the 4. The 6, let's see, he's going to jump down to the bottom to the 48. Well, on the top, we'll have to see here from the back bumper. You can see how spread out it is. GT Irizarry also trying to come through.
And GT, a man of a lot of patience, but I think his patience are gone as many times as he's had to back out of it. And they're 3 wide again. Man.
Big moves. Oh, they're
Patrick.
so close. Tunnel turn on. And I tell you what, caution at this point, it sets up everybody to reset tires. They'll totally nullify their strategy. They do not want to see this. They want to see green flag pit stops happen.
Yeah, they're saying, hey guys, we need you to settle down and just kind of just move out of the way. Just don't cause a problem. Nobody wrecked. This is working out well for us right now. But man, even the guys on the older set of tires are being really aggressive here. I've seen a lot of guys putting it 3 wide and very tightly packed 3 wide at that, not even using the whole racetrack.
Yeah, this is some intense racing. Travis Everett, though, he's got it to Ryan Bean now. He's the first one on the list of the drivers who have broken away there. That 59 attacking his 25. He was about almost, I believe, well, they ran about the same lap time last time by, or actually, no, sorry, about really 7/10 faster on a leader. So those new tires very quick. If he can get out front and just pull away, it'll set up very well for that 59 to be in a great position. But got to remember, 25 to go here. It's going to be close to when these guys can make it on fuel here very soon. So I believe you're going to see Preston, Little, Campbell, Schrittenthal, all these guys pitting pretty quickly. If I'm ever, I need to get out here, get the biggest gap I can possible to be able to stay out and have fresh tires over these guys at the very end also.
Absolutely. I mean, ooh, that closing rate going on the entry of the corner. Travis Everett almost got in the back of the 2 of Zach Schrittenthal, now goes to the outside here. And I think that's exactly right. You have to push and burn this set up. You're not trying to save anything. You burn this set and your last set and just turn as fast a laps as you can, pass guys as quickly as possible. If you're getting a run, you are taking it, just doing everything you can to build some type of gap.
Yeah, here in the tunnel turn, kind of stuck behind the 52. Thing is, it's tough to make runs sometimes at a track like this where some corners, oh, Oh man, and Campbell slows it way up almost. The 59 almost in the back bumper does a great job. I'm telling you what, Everett has got 99 awareness.
And unfortunately going to be in the wrong position here to utilize the draft from Andrew Little ahead of him. Going to have to fall back behind the 52 here. And it's Everett just trying to use all the advantage of his fresher tires that he can on the entry, through the center, and on the exit. Had some close calls here. Now going to get the inside. Not quite going to be clear though, and that's not Hunter Hayward to close into the back. Hunter Hayward going to drop down and give some type of help to Travis Everett here, trying to get them both by Andrew Little and Nathan Campbell.
Ray, I think that's a smart decision by Hayward. If he goes to the inside of Travis Everett, doesn't make it happen, he just slows them down. These two need to get going and help each other pull away, because Ryan Bean, Craig Burns, first drivers to hit pit road already for their strategy. When do the others start coming? I think just as these tires get here, they're going to be pitting. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pull off this time. And here they come, Brandon.
And I wonder now, how far do they push it here?
Oh, and the car goes around. Caution is out on the racetrack. And I tell you what, I don't know if I think you still can get your pit stop done technically. They should totally be able to get it done before the leaders get back around, unless the leaders really push hard here to try to get back around and keep them a lap down.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to get this done pretty easily, not have to worry about it. It looks like Preston went through his box again, but Andrew Little and Curtis Preston just got the blessing. I mean, Casey Kuntz just came down pit road as well. I don't know if he made it in before the caution came out. I have to see exactly what car that was that went around.
Yeah, we'll have to exactly see. I believe it was the 31, but we'll go back on the Freaky Fast replay here and see exactly what happened. Actually, it wasn't Casey Kuntz. I believe it was Nathan Campbell, the 52 machine. Oh, just a lockup on the entry pit road, and that changes our whole complexion of our race. Here you'll see, ladies and gentlemen, he's coming down. He's gonna lock that inner left front tire. That's gonna shoot him right into the inside of the pit wall, send him spinning around here. And then as the cars go by, that's gonna bring out the yellow flag. And man, oh man, that is a huge shakeup.
Well, it kind of still works out for Travis Everett, Hunter Hayward GT. They're going to have good track position now. But, I mean, I really think they still would have liked to have seen it go green from here. I think it was in their hands at this point to decide amongst themselves with the pit stops. Now it just it evens everything back out.
This will be one for the books for sure. Race number 2 of the round of 8. I tell you what, this one's not over, as they say till the fat lady sings, and Robert has not sung tonight.
Well, there he was. All right, guys. Well, it's been a fun Tuesday. See you guys next week. It's over.
God bless everybody. Peace out. We were just joshing with you as we're going to keep it here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But man, this is definitely where strategy could play out. The thing is, do these guys risk staying out here, Brandon, or taking just fuel to save a set of tires, just in case we get a caution? Because we know how it can be. Look at Everett; he's not even looking like he was going to pit. He's coming down though.
Yeah, they were going to have to make it on fuel, and they weren't going to be able to. You have to come in and at least top off here.
I wonder who will do that, man. This is going to be interesting because. You're going to even out your strategy here with everybody who pitted if you do not do that. And
I think you still have to take that risk and play to your strategy. It's, we still got 20 laps to go now, just under 20 laps to go. Going to be about 22, 23 when we get back to green. There's more than likely going to be a caution. Play to your strategy so you've got time.
Well, I tell you what, Hayward, he didn't take nothing either. He just went. He took fuel only, and I believe he was one of the only ones also, because I believe that Everett took tires, so did Irizarry. So Hayward saving a set. I think it's because he's got nothing to lose. He's not in the playoffs. That's the thing. That's what the 48's thinking. If I get a caution here, I could be a hero in a little bit with some brand new set of tires.
He's going to have to hope that these guys get racing pretty good. He's got a lot of time, but he also needs time for everybody to wear their tires in. And he's going to have a majority of the field to pass.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how stacked up it got. So, it's still tough even with just having that extra set of tires to be able to come back up here and say you're going to be able to do that. I mean, we've seen it before happen, but this is a track where it's very one groove and hard, and you can get stuck behind people, even though it's wide in some portions. Some portions of this track is not very wide.
Yeah, I mean, the straightaways are pretty wide, but the grooves that you can run, you're not going to be able to run 3 wide through a lot of these corners. Turn 2, or definitely not. Turn 3, you can do it competitively. Turn 1, you have to hope that somebody gets pushed extremely wide, because you're not going all the way to the outside with fresh tires and making that pass pretty handedly. You're going to have to go either the middle or the bottom 3 wide to be able to take advantage of that. And there's just not a lot of time. I mean, again, we saw how mixed up everything got that last run, and it's just I talked about Hunter Hayward's incident the last time we were here. If he's in that same situation again, I worry that it could repeat itself. Just trying that to be that level of aggressive with the fresher tires and take those 3 wide chances. Guys have to be aware and be willing to give you the room. And once it gets late into the race, the later it gets, the less willing they're going to be.
That very well be. And shout out to Brian Johnson in the chat out there for saying my final broadcast. That's a lie. Will not be my final broadcast. That's for sure. As also above that, you guys should check out that link above his chat right there. If you want to get coaching lessons from the Pocono Setup Shop, and maybe Brian Johnson, you should check those out.
Why, Zach? Why? Zach does. I was as soon as you said it, and I saw Brian was in the chat. I was like, Zach, why you got to bring it up again? Brian don't need any help.
No, he definitely needs help. He definitely does. He needs help somewhere else. But thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up button. We got 2 out there. I want to see some more thumbs up. I like thumbs up. Okay, so let's get some more dose. As we're gonna be coming to green flag. It'll be 18 to go, and look, Fitzpatrick out front, being second, third Burns, Preston fourth, and rounding out the 5th position, Andrew Little. Hayward there on the old tires. Ooh, it's going to get spicy.
We need a spicy emote.
And the spicy green flag is out, and we're off and away, man. Fitzpatrick was on it there as he jumps out to an early lead here over Bean. Here comes the look for Travis Everett back in the back of the pack here as we race on down here the front straightaway.
Tony Ludi not giving Everett much room now. Looks like Catrone going to the inside, going to be able to make that pass. Fitzpatrick getting shuffled back out. Still holding on to second, but not for much longer.
And down here in the tone turn, look at that Curtis Preston able to make the pass. And Hayward almost up into the 3 of Fitzpatrick. Woo! And Everett almost in the back a little here. Here comes Catrone in the 38. It's getting wild here. Late in the going here. 18 to go. Hayward on the bottom, fighting his way with them old tires. And you gotta say, man, he's doing a good job, but don't want to get caught up with that that you alluded to there, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is why you play to your strategy. I think you're almost guaranteed to get a caution here. Everybody's being super aggressive, especially with the tire differences. Guys on fresher tires realize that I cannot waste time on the guys with the older tires here. I've got to push.
Oh man, going for it they are. Everett, like you said, he needs to go up there. So does Catrone as they battle for it. There were 17 to go. Potter, B-Singer, and Nolan Potter, Brock Potter. Sorry, there's 2 Potters. I need to be specific. As Yunez is there, Watkins, Campbell coming back from that spin, Rusty, Modesty. They're all on top of each other here with 17 to go. It's getting freaky fast.
And Chad Biesinger not having the best restart last time. Got a little bit of contact with the 34 on the restart. GT back here shooting 3 wide down the front stretch.
Past race winner here. He's going for on straight and throw. Down to the inside. Does he have the power and the momentum and the drive to get it done? Does it like it's going to work just yet as they come off of 2 here, side by side, still at the 2, the 14. Trying to get position back up here as he won the race earlier in the season, has not been able to get it done yet. And there it is, Everett past Craig Burns for 3rd. He's driving a storming race back up here. Everett, don't count him out, stage 1 winner.
Curtis Preston just now making the pass on Ryan Bean back to the lead. Travis Everett trying to get by Bean as quickly as possible. Hits the rumble strip though on the inside of turn 3. Get a little bit up the track and hurt his exit speed. Now trying. You see Curtis Preston going to be Indy snaking it, trying to do something to break the draft here.
Everything he could to try to break that draft there is right on board with Everett. He's going to try to get this run set up on Bean and Preston ahead of him. He's drove his wheels off that thing up here, 15 to go. And personally, I'm thinking, looking at Hunter Hayward, he's the 6th. He's done a good job on the old tires. If we get a caution, though, I'd say with 8 to go, he could be in a good spot because we should see a good bit of fall off at that point.
I think you're right, and it's just now if you're Hunter Hayward, you're trying to force guys to use up a little bit of tire, but also you don't want to get wrecked. I mean, if you come out with a fresh set of tires with a wrecked race car, it's not doing you any good.
Yes, Everett to the inside. Can he make it happen? Look, Preston going to give his teammate the draft. Smart move here. Be able to get your teammate behind you. There were 14 to go playing the team games, and that's a great job by Curtis Preston to play along with his teammate because he's locked in. He knows his teammate needs every bit of points. Now, this pass, though, I don't know how easy this one's going to be.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't be rolling over and helping him out too much here, but Travis Everett has got incredible pace. I worry maybe he's burned up just a little bit too much getting through there, but he's got time now. He can relax a little bit, just kind of ride, let his tires cool down, size up Preston, and make a charge here in the closing laps. Doesn't need to pass him right now.
We heard Curtis Preston talked about you need a little help to pass almost, it feels like. Curtis Preston, how much help, Travis Everett, how much help will he have? Does Bean go with him? Because if he lets Everett win the race, that locks Everett in. That takes away another position that could technically be taken by points. Personally, if I'm him, I help Preston because he's already locked in. He's not going to take another spot. That's only going to be one locked in person.
I think you're exactly right. If you were Ryan Bean, you're thinking, man, my best chance to get around Preston is to help Everett, but if Everett wins, that's horrible for me in the championship standings. And now he's not pushing Everett. He's trying to close the gap behind Preston here, forcing Everett to try to make this pass happen. And just going to have enough space for Everett to hop in here between the two of them.
Man, oh man, Everett jumps in there. And Craig Burns in the 12 there. He's not giving up either. Look at him. Qualified 10th has been somewhat of a, a little bit of a in there mix there race for him. But now up into the top 4, he's charging forward. Look at Trevor Massetti back there. He's side by side with Cotrone.
Looks like Little got into the wall coming out of
lead.
turn. Man, it's getting high. There's battles everywhere.
Looks like I think Everett's going to make it work. But can Preston have the run down the back straightaway? I think he might go to get to the inside here. What does Travis Everett do? Looks like he holds position. It looks like Preston's going to give him the push. Is Curtis Preston deciding, hey, best off if my teammate gets this thing done?
And now Ryan Bean is in a really bad spot because Everett is going to help Preston if Bean tries to make the pass. But Bean needs to get by Preston to challenge Everett for this lead.
Man, oh man. We know Bean, one of his best tracks is Dover. So if he can just set himself up with a good points night here tonight, it could be a battle at Dover for that last spot. Especially if we don't see a person lock themselves in with a win here or at Dover. The points very well could come back for Bean very well because he had that good stage, all right stage 1, but a good stage 2 points. And then these points here to finish in possibly the top 4. It's looking good for this 25.
And also the driver that he needs to catch in points should Everett win this race to not get knocked out here is Andrew Little. Little has fallen back now to the 8th position and may fall even further back before this race is over. We still got coming to 10 laps to go here. It could open up the point spread quite a bit for Ryan Bean to gain just a little bit more.
It very well could. Here goes GT Azari. He's making a move on Catrone down the front straightaway. Can Catrone side draft him back to pull him back to him? Azari almost clear, but I think he should be able to clear him down here into the corner. But Catrone really driving in deep, but he's going to wash up the racetrack. And look at a nice, smooth pass from the 14. Good decision by him to back the corner up there and get the run. But can Catrone get the draft down the front straightaway here to get the move to the inside here before the tunnel turn? We'll see. No, that 38 will make a move. Yes, he will. He goes down to the inside.
Yeah, full send there. Catches a little bit of the apron. GT seeing it coming, able to adjust his line, but that allows Andrew Little now get a big run on the 38. And going through turn 1, you saw how far Catrone sent it in there. Caught those bumps that I talked about at the top of the broadcast and just washed the nose up. Now, ooh, door rubbing between the 38 and the 68 here.
Hard racing going on here with 9 to go. Up.
Curtis Preston
front.
back to
Curtis
the inside.
Preston. Yeah, back to the inside. And here's Ryan Bean, not too far behind. Same with Craig Burns. If it gets mixy between the two teammates here, you never know. It could turn out to be Ryan Bean or Craig Burns' turn.
Yeah, if I'm Ryan Bean, he's trying to just get the draft to make something happen here, but if push comes to shove, he's going to latch onto the back bumper of the 29. I'm looking for that down the front stretch here, seeing if he can get a good run and push Curtis Preston by the 59 of Travis Everett here.
And looking at this, great run between these two here. All for 3, side by side for the lead. Ryan Bean, though, I think he's made the decision. Maybe he needs to help Curtis Preston. That's my thing in my book. He needs to help the 29 get by the 59. He does not want this 59 to win. 29 ducks back into there as the 25 settles for 3rd at the moment.
Well, the biggest thing that's hurting Curtis Preston right now is that Ryan Bean cannot get the exit that he needs to get to the back bumper and help him get that push by his teammate. Ryan Bean, trying as he might, needs to get there to make that happen right now.
And he's all over the pack of the 59. Is the 29 at Curtis Preston. He backs it up there through the tunnel turn, though. Loses a little bit of gap here. Now down to 3. This is a critical corner, though, to set up the pass.
You see Preston going out just a little bit wider, carrying a little bit more momentum. And that's allowing Bean to get a little bit closer. Dirty air washing out Preston just a little bit here. Not able to generate a good enough run. Is going to get the draft. Should be able to get just to him before they get to turn 1 as he go to the inside. And he decides not to.
This is interesting. It's always like he wants to challenge for lead, but he doesn't want to challenge for lead also. So we're about to see how Curtis Preston plays here. I mean, it's hard to pass. He knows that. So my thing is, I think Bean goes to the 29 if he goes to the inside because of that reasoning of, the locking in deal. So, I mean, if I'm Bean, I'm pushing the 29. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Ryan Bean, I am getting to the back bumper of the 29, and I'm going to push him whether he gets out of line or not. I mean, if he ends up pushing Everett too far into the corner, that's an opportunity. And Ryan Bean, at this point, I mean, this could be his entire season right here, 2 positions ahead of him. He's got to make these moves.
It's 6 to go. It's any man's race up here as Everett hangs on to a thread of a lead from her teammate Curtis Preston, who's locked in to that final 4. Here's Ryan Bean, though, in the 25. Everett takes a little bit of wider line down here, and one that opens up the door for Preston to get the clean air. Now all over the back bumper of his teammate, the 59. Looks like he'll give him the push.
And it's just enough to where Preston can get some clean air to stay close, but not enough that he's too wide and can still generate a really good run off the corner and doesn't allow Preston to use the draft to get right to him on the entry to the corner. It's a really smart defensive line out of Everett here, but you've also got to think that Preston, I think if it was anybody else, he would be taking a lot more chances, being a little bit more aggressive, but I think he understands the position that his teammate's in right now and the fact that it's a teammate. You don't want to cause him a problem right now. You want the win, but you don't want to almost ruin his season by, potentially wrecking him here with a mistake.
Yeah, if Everett was to get knocked out of this race here, it would be a catastrophic, into this race for him, especially after winning stage 1, getting the 1 point there in stage 2, so 11 bonus points. But if he was to drop all the way back, that would still not equate to too many points for this 59 machine. So he needs this finish if he wants to be able to go to Dover and feel good, even if it's not a win. Right now he's locked in where he's at sitting, but if he loses this win, he still should be in a great spot going into Dover.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you definitely want to win here. You don't want to have to go into Dover knowing you need to make up points. But second place on top of the 11 bonus points is still a fantastic points day, considering where a lot of the guys that you're racing are pretty far back in the field right now, except for Ryan Bean.
4 to go. Who's going to get it done here? GT. He's got by Massetti. And that's put him up to 5th. Looks like they're running some pretty quick times. GT 55.53 to Travis Everett's 55.93. I mean, that's flying almost a half a second quicker, 2.7 seconds back. Not enough time for him to get up there. But he's definitely charging late to go. And Craig Burns not making it the easiest on Ryan Bean as he's putting pressure on for that 3rd spot.
I think just based on the time that GT is running here, if they get a caution, this could be the 14's race to win. Just a little bit too far back now to really make use of the speed that he has on his, more well taken care of tires at the moment. Also, not really getting the benefit of the draft. He can't rely on Craig Burns to help tow him along here. Really, it's just Massetti pushing him along.
Wow, look at this run here. Can Burns get to the inside? Doesn't let it hit. The big thing is Bean's got the run on with the draft up front, but side by side up ahead of him. Curtis Preston trying to take a look on teammate Travis Everett, and this is going to slow him up here. Here comes Bean and Craig Burns right back in the picture. So when you start getting side by side, it slows you up, gets the 2 drivers right here right back in it.
And Travis Everett has done an incredible job just being as defensive as possible, just making sure that if Curtis is going to make the pass, he's going to have to do it the hard way and give up his exit speed for these long straightaways and just hope that the side draft is enough. And so far, it's not been.
Coming to 2 to go. Can he make something work here? He's going to have a pretty big run here going down the front straightaway. Does he utilize it? That's the question.
And there's the caution.
Oh, and there is the yellow. What is that for? I'm not sure yet.
Casey Kuntz slow out of turn 3.
Oh,
like
it
that
looks
started
like
on the short shoot. Anthony Ludi and Rusty Modesty get together.
Yeah. Man, oh man, big contact there between Tony Ludi, Rusty Modesty, and the 31 of Casey Kuntz. That's going to bring out our 5th caution of the year, the 5th caution of the night. And my question is, if anybody's got to set tires, do they come down and take them? I mean, you got to start so far back, though. But at the same time, these tires are going to be, a heck of a lot faster. Like, I mean, it's...
Yeah, my thing is that he's not in a position where his track position really matters. Sure, you don't want to end up finishing, 20-something when you've been running up in the top 10, near the top 10. But at the same time, I mean...
What do you got to lose?
It doesn't matter. You're not racing for points. You've got 2 attempts. At the most, you gain half the field. There's a caution. You've got a chance to gain the other half of the field. Go for it. If you've got the extra set, go ahead and put them on. See what you can do.
2.5 mile track, and I'm telling you, I'm looking at the fall off. We're about at 2 seconds of fall off for that run right there. So you very well could see some pretty big runs from that 48 if he does decide to pit. We'll have to see here when they come back around. And does anybody else have a set? I mean, it's possible that someone else out there saved the set. So maybe they're farther back along in this pack, and we don't know. I wish. Maybe one day in iRacing they will bring that to us, a tire counter. So that'd be pretty cool to know how many tires, at least from the spectator side of the things, these drivers have left, because we know the 48 does. Other than that, I'm pretty sure most drivers have took their sets. So that's It's going to send him all the way back to 21st, most likely.
I think the only driver that might have another set, possibly Nolan Potter, but James Catrone. I think Catrone might have another set of tires in the pits.
That's very well true. I mean, we'll have to see how this works out here as we're coming to the pit road entry. Who comes down? Looks like the 48 of Hunter Hayward. The only driver to do it so far, but looks like some other drivers electing to also. Looks like Kevin Dowd. Looks like Bob Fitzpatrick. Looks like Tony Ludi. And so that will give him a few spots above those guys also. So that's not too bad for the 48. He will probably start around the 16th position.
Yeah, I think, only losing about 5 spots there overall, not that bad. Much better than coming out tail end of the lead lap if everybody decided to stay out. And talking about Catrone maybe having that extra set, he's in a position he can't risk giving up the track position. He needs the point right now. So he's sticking with his track position, hoping that he can make something happen. I think battling with Andrew Little the last couple laps, seeing them swap back and forth as they were battling with Hunter Hayward, just trying to gain every little point that they can. Hoping that maybe something catastrophic happens ahead of them and that they can avoid it.
Well, we'll have to see here how this all shakes out here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in here tonight. And if you've enjoyed your broadcast, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button.
Well, Zach, I noticed something. And it may have been on the previous, not the most recent restart, but the one before that. Hunter Hayward has some left front nose damage, and there was a restart where he was pushing Travis Everett pretty hard off the drop of the green flag, and I think maybe got into the back of him a little bit too hard there.
That's some pretty good left front damage, actually. Some splitter damage.
Yeah, a little bit of separation between the hood and the front clip, but also that splitter like you talked about, which is so important for the downforce, especially in the corners here, keeping that car stuck to the corner, maximizing your front grip. That may have been the reason for a lot of his fall off. He was struggling to pass and hold off guys that he was pretty well ahead of in pace earlier on in the race.
Yeah, he definitely, you know what's weird, actually? This is crazy to say, but I think he damaged it in the tunnel third.
Oh, you think maybe cutting it just a little bit too much?
That's where I'm showing he got the damage from.
Oof.
So, I don't know if that's what happened, but we will have to see. As we get him double file back up, Everett going to have the lead here. Looks like Hayward going to restart in 17th with the new tires. I mean, if he gets a yellow and he can get half of these positions, I'm telling you, it's not without question that he can drive up to the win with the new tires.
Absolutely. I think that's got to be your mindset here. Is you're probably not going to get all of them. Going to have to hope the guys get together and you can miss it if it's ahead of you. But also he's got Bob Fitzpatrick on his outside that have fresh tires as well. Man, I mean, you've got 17th and 18th position here with fresh tires trying to cut through the field. Travis Everett trying to hold off Curtis Preston. Ryan Bean trying to make sure that Travis Everett doesn't win this race and potentially knock him on the outside looking in for the playoffs coming into the last race of the round of 8 next week at Dover. Yeah, man, there's so much going on right now.
This is why we broadcast. This is why we tune in. This is why we love racing, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting down to the nerve-wracking point. 3 to go. All for the money. Let's see who can pull this off. Travis Everett, that 59 machine, looking to get a win to lock himself in. Curtis Preston on the inside, already locked into the next round. Green flag is out, and we're off and away. Everett with a great start. He's going to clear teammate Curtis Preston, and even he's going to clear for that second place as Burns is going to slide up into third. Bean, though, under attack from Massetti and Irizarry from behind.
Fitzpatrick in the back there with fresh tires got a great restart. Hunter Hayward did not. Got caught up behind some slower traffic on the restart here. Fitzpatrick cutting through the field, and they're wrecking coming out of turn 1.
Already.
It's
Little big wreck. Oh, and
no.
multiple people caught up in that. Yeah, that's, I believe Fitzpatrick and Hayward both caught up in that incident.
Yeah, Catrone caught in that.
And man, Schrittenthal went flipping, guys.
Yeah, I think Schrittenthal just came back after the contact with Little and just caught somebody's door, pushed him back into the field, and just calamity from there. Unfortunately, nowhere for really any of those guys to go. Just unfolded in a split second.
Man, oh man. I tell you what, though. Schrittenthal went for a ride, and that is not good, though, for Little and Catrone. Catrone especially. Not getting stage points tonight. That's going to put him in almost a must-win position going into Dover, personally, with this incident here. And Little, such a great first 2 stages for him, and to come up spun, in a spin like there at the very end of this thing, that has got to be upsetting.
Yeah, and I mean, he started on the pole as well. I mean, everything seemed to be going exceptionally well for him tonight. Kind of, came off pace just a little bit toward the end, but had a solid points night going here. And I think now, if you're Ryan Bean, understanding, if he's aware of what's going on with Andrew Little, realizing, hey, he had a lot of points gained, but I wasn't too far behind him here. I'm going to gain a lot, should be able to leapfrog him. It's not such a panic position now if Travis Everett wins this race. Still going to be looking on the inside. But, I mean, if anything you can do to keep yourself up one more position still, if it's at all possible, going to be trying to get past Travis Everett or push somebody by him to make sure that he does not lock himself in and has to go into Dover and either have a really good points night or try to win then.
Oh man, well, we'll see how this all works out here as we get all the cars coming down pit road for some damage repairs. Man, oh man, that definitely shook up stuff, and what a wild ride there that was on that caution. But Everett gonna have to restart back out here with the lead. Bean kind of got saved by that, man. He was about to get freight train possibly on the outside there with the guys pushing on his outside. He used that caution there to luckily hold on to the 4th position there and maybe be able to get back into that 3rd spot as he'll restart on the outside line. I think Everett's going to restart back up out there too. So this could get very interesting, man.
Yeah, this is. I mean, if Curtis Preston's got anything left here, he's going to be full send mode and try to take this. Ryan Bean, I think, has to be aggressive on the restart. Can't be caught sleeping like he did last time. He needs to be right on it. Give himself a chance to maybe shoot these guys 3 wide going into 1. Make something happen here. If he can do that and Everett starting on the outside, that's going to push Everett all the way to the far side of the groove where you really don't want to be. And that's really the best thing that he can hope for right now.
Man, if you're Everett too, you just you want to win this race, but you also don't want to get taken out of this race. So you got to plan for that, make the right call, make the right move. And if it, Everett is also one of the drivers, kind of like GT. He has that weird knack for staying out of trouble, and I think that's one of those two's classic abilities, just staying out of that trouble, knowing when to make the move, when to back out of the move. And I feel like if Everett feels like it's going to be a risky maneuver here, he may back out of it and just take the points.
Yeah, it very well could. I mean, it's one thing to get the win and lock yourself in, but especially if you get wrecked out of here, 2nd place is a ton of points, but you don't want to have what happened to Andrew Little or James Catrone happen to you, especially being in the same situation that Catrone's in so far back on points. So 2nd place is not a win, but it's much better than 19th.
That it is. That's a true statement, my friend. And here we are. 1st green white check or 2nd green white checkered attempt. Sorry about that. So this will be our final attempt at a green white checkered here tonight in overtime. As the pace car lights are off, we're going to get ready to go back green flag racing. Who has the best shot here, Brandon, of dethroning Everett? Who do you think's got this?
I would have to say Curtis Preston. I don't think anybody's going to have the time to get by Preston and then make a run at Everett. If Preston gets bottled up running side by side, it's Everett's race to lose. I mean, he's going to pull out such a gap with those two racing side by side that they're not going to be able to get back to him. So I think this restart's going to be a pretty big indication of if anybody can challenge. But based on the last restart, I think it may be smooth sailing for Everett.
We will have to see as we head down to turn 3. Final restart of the night. The Pocono 85 brought to you by S&C Transport. We're getting ready to take the final green flag of this evening. See who will be our Sheffield Graphics race winner. Pace car is in. Everett off and away. Green flag is out. Bean side by side with Preston. It's a great battle here. Everett going to pull down to pull his teammate back dead even with Bean. This is playing out very interestingly as we head down the 1. Looks like Preston going to have a nose ahead, but Bean going to fight to the outside. He needs the points.
Yeah, and it may have looked like to the crowd that Everett was helping his teammate. Oh, Preston has the lift. That opens the door for Bean here. GT as well going to the outside. GT up to 3rd now.
Man, oh man, what a rebound there from that 14 machine. He's trying to get up here. Remember, he won this race earlier in the season. 2 to go.
Bean just sailing it into the tunnel turn here, but GT getting a great run out.
Here comes the run from the 14. Does he make the move? He gets to the back bumper to 25. Doesn't make the move there. Decides to let the 25 drive it in there. He looks inside here as they'll be coming out of the corner this time. White flag in the air. Travis Everett leading us down here. He's going to get the draft of teammate GT Rosario as he's side by side with Bean down the front straightaway. One final time tonight.
Yeah, that time he was helping a teammate. On the restart, he was helping himself, making sure those guys stayed side by side so he could get the gap that he has now. GT taking hold of 2nd. Massetti, though, challenging for 3rd place over Bean.
Yes, he is. Look at GT. He's going to get the draft to that 88. He wants to keep him side by side, and Massetti backs out of it here, heading down the straightaway there to head down to the tunnel turn. Can Bean hold on to it? There's Curtis Preston there directly behind. Bean hard into the wall. Down to 3. Here we go. Great action as Curtis Preston takes over 3rd. Man, oh man, what have we seen here tonight? Everett comes out of 3. He's going to win. As he's your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight at Pocono. GT Rosario 3rd, Curtis Preston 3rd, GT Rosario 2nd, Curtis Preston 3rd. A 1-2-3 here for Slide Job Racing.
Now Ryan Bean, not the result he wanted, but still great points for himself. And then Nathan Campbell rebounding for a 5th place finish there, salvaging a good bit of points. And we all saw it, Trevor Massetti pulling over there on the backstretch. It's a lot of class and respect for the 88, realizing that these guys up here, playoff drivers, racing for points here, did not want to interfere with it, cause a problem for anybody, and decided, you know what, man, it doesn't mean that much to me. I don't want to hurt you guys, and let them battle it out.
Yeah, that was great stuff there from all those drivers up front. But Travis Everett came in tonight back against the wall. Looked kind of bleak on the point side of things. After Atlanta, comes here to Pocono, never give up mentality, and comes out here, gets the win. And man, oh man, he's going to lock himself into the Final 4 and have another shot at the championship, just as he did last season. Congrats to Travis Everett here as he celebrates on the front straightaway. We'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, as we get our top 3 drivers from Slide Job Racing up here in the interview room. All right, we are back here, everyone, here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting for our post-race interviews after tonight's race here at the RSR Cup Series at Pocono. First, we have our third place man, and man already locked into the Final Four and past series champion from the past season here at the Cup Series, Curtis Preston, our third place man. We'll go ahead and pull him on up here to hear what he has to say about tonight's third place finish in that 29 machine. Hey, Curtis, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Yeah, what's going on, Zach?
Hey, it's going good up here, buddy. I tell you what, a wild battle down there to the end with your teammates, man. Just coming up a little bit short here tonight, but again, keeping that momentum up in the 29, man. It's just been rolling at the end of the season, especially from the speed category, man. How you feel about tonight's race, and how was it racing out there with your teammates?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, man. Me and Travis had a good battle going there. Shame late race cautions come out there. I don't know if we could have got by him without any help or not. It was going to be tough to get around him. We needed him to make a mistake. He just don't do that. But really happy I didn't take the 25 out coming off of one there. I had to get out of the throttle. I was going to plow him right in the fence. Last thing you want to do is take another chase guy out. So just glad that went good.
Yeah, definitely got close there, man. But you were able to fight your way back there after sliding back, having to get out of it, and got yourself back up here into the top three, man. To get that 1, 2, 3 with your teammates, man. You know, the biggest thing I keep bringing up is just the end of the season, man. It just seems like you always come to work at the end of the season. It just seems like your game steps up each and each race as we go down to the end of these championship races. Would you put that down to a mentality, or what? What is it that you feel like really makes you perform so well in these playoff pressure moments?
Well, I think this season it's a little bit different than last year. Um, this season we spent a lot of time, like I said before, working on stuff, wheel stuff, pedal stuff, just anything we could do to find a little bit more and a little bit more. And then when you don't find anything else that way, you got to start working on that connection between the wheel and the seat. And that's what we've been working on. And just trying to stay focused, man. Just keep tuned in. And we thought about showing up tonight and just, hey, let's run in the back, but it's like no, let's go out there and let's keep racing, let's keep rolling. You don't want to let the pencil get dull.
That's for sure, my friend. I tell you what, you're definitely keeping that pencil sharp, and I'm sure you'll keep it up there at Dover next week, also, man. But a great finish from you guys and your team. It was a great run up there for you guys. So, man, congrats on that. Before we let you get out here, Curtis, anybody wants to shout to, man?
Yeah, got to send a shout out to Travis, man. He drove a great race there. That was a lot of fun racing him. Shout out GT2, all the guys at SJR. Really awesome. Come home 1, 2, 3. Got to give a shout out to Ryan Azell as always. Michael Sheffield, Steve Capel, Kevin Ruff, Trevor Massey. There's so many people that do so many things that are behind the scenes for this deal, and appreciate you guys in the booth or Nissan Central, ButtKicker, Sheffield Graphics, Folds of Honor, Mustang Week, that a bunch of people that come in and help us make this thing go, man. We appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
You too, buddy. You have a great one, and we'll catch you next week at Dover. All right, everybody. That was Curtis Preston, your third place man here tonight, and race winner from last week. So locked himself in to that round of 4 championship race at Homestead. Now let's move on to his teammate GT Rosario, who's ever so close to locking himself in tonight with that second place finish. Let's hear about his race, as it was probably kind of an up and down night for him. Hey, GT, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
I do, brother. What's happening?
Hey, man, it's going great. I tell you what, man, a great way to sneak yourself up in there into the second place finish. I got to say, somewhat of an up and down race. Seems like you could never get track position there at the end when you needed it. But, man, you got it at the right time there. How was it? How did you get yourself really in the second there in the closing stages?
Man, that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. I can't wait to watch this tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, we had a good car. We, just like always. I mean, slide jobs. We did a lot of practice this week, and practice running on, running with each other, and then practice, running against each other. And we tried the tire lottery, and it didn't exactly fall in our favor. So we just got back on same sequence everybody else, and then restarted there. And I think about 13th, and started battling with these guys, and ended up, getting tagged by a car on the outside. No wrongdoing, just hard racing, and knocked the sideways and stuff, and collected it, and started getting back up through there, man. man, that was nerve wracking, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. That when that yellow flew, the first one, I was like, no. I was so content just to finish right there in 5th or 6th place.
Yeah, it definitely got wild down there, and you never know at Pocono too. It gets pretty wild with how wide it is there on the front straightaway, and then tightening down into turn 1 and especially turn 2. So you did a great job to navigate your way through there, man, to get second. And this is going to set you up in a good spot still in points. Probably not lock yourself in points wise. Well, definitely not lock yourself in points wise, but put yourself in a good position going into Dover, where a win is not necessarily what you need, but just overall a good night. So what's it going to take, in your opinion, to get to the Final Four, man, after Dover?
I mean, we're going for the W. I mean, Slide Jobs Racing's on a roll here, bro. When it comes to wins, I mean, we've got a good. I think they were Travis telling us like 6 or 7 wins in a row. I mean, that's the bit between different series. That's just crazy, man. So yeah, we're certainly going for a W. I mean, last time we were there, the 29 car was the one we had to beat, and he got into a tangle with 48, and then I had some damage early on, but was able to kind of just stick right there with Travis at the end and finish second. And hell, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be happy to take. I'll be fine with a top 10 next week, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think you'll take anything to get yourself into that Final Four, man, to have your shot at Homestead. And we can't wait for next week at Dover. We're sure it's going to be pressure packed. And I mean, we saw, how much pressure right there coming down to that restart, and how big and how many points it could have swung each way with that one restart. I can't wait to see what Dover's going to bring for you guys. I'm sure I'm glad I'm up here in the booth and not out there driving, so I ain't got to worry about it. But man, I tell you what, great race from your teammates also to get the 1, 2, 3. Anybody want to send a shout though to before we let you get out of here, GT, and go celebrate with your teammates, man?
I got an honest question to ask you though. I mean, how many races do you broadcast that you actually see racing like this right here? Because I mean, I feel like we put on a really good show for you guys and the fans, and I certainly appreciate the job that you guys do. I mean, your commentating just makes it that much more enjoyable to watch later on, because you guys know your stuff, and that's just very important to me, man. But how many other leagues do you actually see racing like this that hard?
I'm
Man,
kind of partial to Saturdays,
yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I race on Saturdays, so if you ever want to check out Saturdays, we also race the Cup cars. So I think that kind of this car, it seems like because the other leagues we do are in opposite cars. We got the Xfinity car. It definitely doesn't lead to as much side by side racing as these. But man, you guys, it's always something wild at the end, and that's what I think I love and enjoy the most about Tuesday nights with you guys. It seems like if you get a late race restart or whatever it is, a late race battle, it's always just nice, close racing, and it just hard fought down to the end. I tell you, GT, it's hard to match what you guys do here, man. It's definitely something I enjoy up here in the booth, and it makes me want to get out on track sometimes with you guys and get right beside you.
Hey man, you're more than welcome to come on out. All y'all come on out, man. We'll have a yeah.
Robert
But
says no.
I hear you, but all back to the seriousness. Just with what we were just saying, got to thank Evolution Racing. I mean, that this is the place to be, man. There's just no doubt about it. Ryan's put on a hell of a show here for the RSR Cup cars. Sheffield does a hell of a job over there for the truck series and everything else to help on this side as well. I mean, you can't thank them guys enough for everything they do to be able to us to come out here and talk with you boys and race like this and just have a good old time, man. Like I said, appreciate you boys up in the booth. ButtKicker for coming on board. Got to thank Mustang Week for coming up on board as well. The event is soon. We're just over a month away from the largest Mustang rally. Pretty close to certainly on the East Coast, and I would have to say it's probably close to throughout the country as well. September 6th through the 12th. There's plenty to see. There's plenty to do there. Cameras everywhere, and you never know, you might run into a couple famous people like Mr. Jack Roush, Steve Saleen, and stuff like that. I know Steve Saleen comes to the event a lot, but and got to thank my teammates, man. I mean, again, we practice our butts off. No lie. I mean, I think a lot of people think, nah, but no, it's serious. We catch a lot of the practice servers, and we just race hard, man. So appreciate for those servers being up, and really, that's about it, man. Y'all have a good night. Hope to talk to you next week.
Hey, I hope to talk to you too, buddy. You have a great night, and we'll catch you at Dover, man.
10.
And that is GT Azar. You heard 10, but you didn't hear the 4, so I'll finish 4.
We get the 4 next week.
Yeah, we'll get the 4 next week. I'll make sure to review them. That was my bad. Sometimes my drag and drop skills aren't the greatest, guys. So you got to mess with the interviewer here. But let's go ahead and bring our man of the hour, the race winner, and brought to you by Sheffield Graphics, Travis Everett, here tonight at Pocono. Brought it home. Hey, Travis, is Zach up in the booth? You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir. We got you, Zach.
Hey, man, well, I tell you what, great win here tonight, man. You got the stage win, got the 1 point also with the old tires there to help you with those 11 points. So you had some good points here as you entered kind of with your back against the wall tonight, 7th in points after a tough race in Atlanta. But then you go out and win it, man. How does that feel to take all the relief off your shoulders to know that you'll be racing for a championship at Homestead now?
It's definitely a huge relief. Definitely coming here back against the wall. I didn't feel like we had to win, but that's kind of how I approached it there. Wanting to go out and give best performance there. And thankfully, we had teammates around us a lot of the race. They played a whole lot nicer than some other people would have probably.
Yeah, man, it was some great racing between you and your teammate Curtis Preston there. Also, GT coming into the in there at the end, man. It was just great racing overall from everybody up there. You really did a great job though, man, to get yourself back up there after some probably untimely cautions for your strategy, man. How did you reassess your situation as you had to come down pit road there after those guys got a perfectly timed caution as they hit pit road?
Yeah, at that point, I was definitely just going to be satisfied with a top 5 if we could sneak that out. Definitely played in their favor, that caution there. And I guess we had a few guys in front of us there that kind of held it up, and I was able to get by them and get on up there to the leaders and give my best shot at it. And, Ryan, he was going to drive like hell to try to get in. He was about the same position I was there. So
Yeah, definitely in the same spot there as you, man. Definitely give you everything you got, and you were able to come out here with the win tonight, man. So congrats on that. First off, as I believe this is your 5th win, so season or league leading 5th win too. So first driver to hit that 5 mark. Man, I tell you what, you got 2 races left in the season. Homestead's going to the big one for the championship, but how important do you feel like keeping momentum up at Dover will be for setting up Homestead?
oh yeah, definitely going to need the momentum, which ran Homestead earlier this year, and if I ain't mistaken, I won that one. That don't mean nothing going back to it the second time. A lot of guys going to put in laps there, so definitely going to be a whole different ball game when we head there.
Yeah, it will definitely be a whole different ballgame, my friend. It'll be fun to watch, but you definitely got the experience to back it up there with that race win earlier this season. So we'll see if you can go back to Homestead and repeat there. But maybe at Dover next week also, you can go back and try to get another win. You never know. End up with 7 wins at the end of this thing. That'd be a pretty lucky number there for you. But, man, before I let you guys go celebrate your race victory, Travis, anybody want to send a shout to, man, for y'all's great 1-2-3 finish also for your team?
Yeah, you just brought up something I didn't realize till you just said it. Won at Dover earlier this year also, so definitely 2 good tracks coming up. A lot of stiff competition going to be along with it, though. Just congrats to everybody at SJR. It's been a hell of a season for all of us. Coming home 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many times, and I think that's 7 wins in a row total for the team just in Cup Series. So definitely putting on strong performances there every week, each and every one of us, and just you, everybody else over there at Freaky Fast, Brandon, Robert, appreciate everything y'all do. Love going back and looking at these things the next day, or may look at it again right here in a few minutes. Ryan, Sheffield, everybody at RSR, Evolution Racing Leagues, ButtKicker, or Nissan. Just thanks to everybody that puts this thing on for us and makes it go around. We appreciate it.
Well, we definitely appreciate you guys out on the track. Travis, man, congrats on the win. Savor this one, man, because 2 weeks you'll be battling for that championship, buddy. So congrats, like I said, and go have some fun and celebrate this.
Appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good week.
You too, man. All right, that was Travis Everett, your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight at the RSR Cup Series. What a drive from him to lock himself into that Final Four championship race at Homestead in just 2 mere weeks. But let's go ahead and bring up our race results. As you can see them there, Travis Everett getting that race win, like I said. Second's going to go to teammate GT Rosari, and followed by third by Curtis Preston. So the 1-2-3 for Slide Job Racing. They have been on a roll. Fourth is going to go to Ryan Beans. Fifth's going to end up in Nathan Campbell's hands. Sixth's going to be Craig Burns. Seventh, Rusty Modesty. Eighth's going to be Tony Ludy. Ninth, Andrew Little. 10th is going to be Anthony Yunez. 11th, Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 12th is going to go to Nolan Potter. 13th is going to be Hunter Hayward. 14th, Kevin Dowd. 15th is going to be Harold Watkins. 16th is going to be James Catrone. 17th, Trevor Massetti. 18th, Bob Fitzpatrick. 19th is going to be Zach Schrittenthal. 20th is going to be Brock Potter. 21st, Casey Kuntz. 22nd is going to be Chad Biesinger. 23rd, Ryan Ezel. 24th, Kevin Ruff. 25th, Kevin Sabilla. Right airfield in the 26th position is Jerry Culliver. As that's your race results here tonight from Pocono, brought to you by SNC Transport. But man, oh man, what a night it's been. Brandon, any final thoughts on our Cup Series race here tonight?
I mean, it was a fantastic race. Congrats to Travis for locking himself in there. Like he said, he came in not necessarily needing the win, but came in with the mentality that it was a must win, and he went out and rose to the occasion, got the win, and kept at it all day. And I'm excited to get here next week and really figure out who our Final Four is going to be after the point shakeups, the big point shakeups tonight, and see who we're going to be potentially crowning a champion in 2 weeks' time. But going into Dover, man, it's going to be tough. Like, it's short track, really high banked, tires mean a lot, and cautions happen, and there's not a lot of places to go. And I'm sure a lot of guys got to be going into that remembering the last thing you want to do is take out a guy in the chase. So it should be a lot of fun.
Oh, that should be, man. The Monster Mile spares nobody. Miles will chew you up and spit you right back out. So it doesn't matter if you're a playoff guy, a non-playoff guy. It doesn't matter. It's a tough racetrack, and we're gonna see somebody struggle there for sure. We're also gonna see somebody conquer Monster Miles. So I mean, it's gonna be very fun to watch. Do not miss out on that action next week at 9:20 Eastern here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as that's the cutoff race for the Final Four. As we only have 2 weeks left here at the RSR Cup Series, you don't want to miss out on that action. Trust me, last year our Cup Series finale was a banger, so definitely don't want to miss out on that. So make sure you come back. But let's send it up to Robert Morrow Jr. as he'll close out tonight's broadcast and send everybody a shout out.
All right. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Zach. Great calling, man. Great racing here tonight. As always, here with Evolution Racing League. Hard-nosed battling. We've seen 3 wide battling. We've seen 4 wide battling. We've seen beating and banging here at Pocono. And like you guys said, we're about ready to head off to Dover next week, just right down the road. Here in PA, go to Delaware. It's going to be fun as... Man, we're coming down to the end of the season, man. It's so weird to say this, but, 2 more races to go. We got Dover and then Homestead, and we crowned a champion, and we had a long season, and these guys battled hard and long to get to this point. So next week I wouldn't be surprised next week should be, like, really heated, trying to get in and hard-nosed battling for guys that they got to get the win to get that last place, or who's gonna be in the last 2 positions. Next week we could get somebody at Pocono gets the win, got to lock themselves in, and then somebody's gonna point their way in. I mean, unless we get somebody that gets back to back that's already locked into the playoffs. Now we have 3 then we would have 2 vehicles pointing their way in. So, well. Make sure you tune in next week to see all that stuff. But before we get off here, our next televised will be tomorrow night at Nashville, Super Speedway, whatever they want to call it, which Zach Hall is going to be calling all the action with Ryan and with Underdog Racing League at 8:30 Eastern. And I know Zach has been looking forward to this race all week. First time of us calling at Nashville, so this should be very interesting seeing the Xfinity cars out at Nashville. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But until then, hopefully you have a great rest of your Tuesday night and have a safe Wednesday, and we'll catch you tomorrow night. But until then, God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.